All right, good evening, everybody. Once again, it is Friday night, time for Friday Night Forex and Chill. You guys know I love Friday Night Forex and Chill. It's funny you're here tonight because we started like almost exactly a year ago, and we were just a group of traders who wanted to learn market structure and learn to become better traders, and we wanted to support each other. So on Friday nights, while everybody else was out doing whatever, we started jumping on a Zoom. I paid for Zoom so we could record, so we could have unlimited time. And it just started growing from 4 people to 5 people to we've had over 200 people on. And it's all about just supporting each other as traders, learning everything we can. We used to go on for 2, 3, 4 hours at a time, and I used to teach most of the time. And then I was like, hey, why don't I start bringing other traders on here so people will have aha moments from other people. You know, by teaching others, you learn. And by allowing other teachers to come on here, I've learned from them. And I want to be able to give you the best knowledge, the best thing that I can as a trader. So I'd like to bring other traders on, but I like to stick to people who trade market structure because it's very important. As I was saying earlier when we were just chit-chatting before we started, you hear the saying, jack of all trades, master of none. And that's the worst thing you can do to your trading career, is to be a jack of all trades, master of none. So we mastered market structure, and that's what we teach. That's what we stick to, because it's like trying to learn multiple languages at one time. It'll get confusing. So if you stick to what you know, then you're going to grow. And the young lady that I'm going to bring up tonight, that's how I met her, as I was helping with mentoring teens. We did have a boot camp and mentoring sessions for adults that was paid for, but a good friend that was leading that, Clint Million, he reached out to me one day and he was like, listen, he said, I have a heart to help these teenagers. He said, because when I was their age and I was out in the street, I had to make my living with a gun in my hand. He said, and I don't want them for them. He said, but I would like a female figure, like a mother figure in the group. And he asked me, would I help? And I was like, heck yeah, I'll help. And it was amazing, the results we've gotten from these teens in there. But I'm gonna play our little Forex and Chill video real quick before we start, and then I'll give her a proper introduction and bring her on. We're going to introduce tonight is Miss Jamielle Lawson. As you can see, she's a 19-year-old trader. She joined that free mentorship that I was telling you about, and then she took it to another level. And she's killing the charts. She's got a great big following. She trades pure market structure. She's a member of Trade House with iMarkets Mastery. And she's been traveling around Florida, teaching other people, getting them set up to trade and help them make money. Her aspiration is to be able to teach with iMarkets Academy. And so she's going to drop her links tonight so you can follow her and help support her. So if you're ready to learn from this young lady, drop me some fire in the chat, some fire emojis. Woo! Come on, Jamielle. Come on, everybody, drop some fire. Let's love it up tonight. Let's love it up, because we're going to get some free knowledge. She's got no holds barred tonight as she comes forward. Are you with me, Jamielle? Can you hear me, Jamielle?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I actually, let me change. Okay, so I changed Wi-Fi's. How's everybody doing tonight? Everybody good? What's up? I see a lot of my team on here. Thank y'all. Y'all always supporting me. Right, so I'm going to tell y'all a little bit about me before I start. I'm going to just go ahead. I'm going to drop my Telegram. So you guys can go ahead and join that. I am, like Gigi said, I'm 19 years old. I'm from Tallahassee, Florida. I've been trading, which is crazy. Like, things are fate, for real. Like Gigi said, this time last year was the same time I started. Right, so it hasn't even been that long that I've been doing this, but just imagine the success I've had thus far. right? So I really want that to be a test to all my new people that maybe are just taking this journey or still going on it. The results will come, right? But a little bit about me. Yes, I was mentored by Clint and Gigi. Like, it's cool to be on here now because I used to watch every ForexNChill that Gigi did, right? Because I was one of those. I wanted to learn this skill set so bad, and I was willing to give up my Friday nights and give up those nights of going out to learn this skill set and be on these sessions. So I've watched, like, I'm pretty sure I probably watched her first one, and to now to see it grow and keep going. I've been on here like hours and hours, like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. in the morning, and we just been going. So yes, I'm trying to get on IML TV. That is my goal. So in order to build that, I've been, putting my face out there, showing people how I personally trade, things I've learned, and I've been just trying to pass it on. Meal plan, that's the Telegram group I dropped in there. That's my channel. I started it a month ago, and we're almost at 2,000 subscribers.
All right, y'all, let's make it 2,000 tonight, guys. If y'all have not subscribed to her on Telegram, let's make it 2,000 tonight. Jump in there and subscribe and share it with all your fellow traders.
And yes, guys, and I want to teach, like, I'm not going to lie, majority of my group is younger people, right? But I really want to open. This skill set is for everybody. Anybody from 11 all the way to like 100, right? So this is not something that just young people, none of that. It's for everybody. But enough about me. I do want to thank Gigi for even allowing me to be on this session, right? Because she didn't have to do that. But she's right, guys. Like, I went through the boot camp. I was personally mentored by Clint, and I took those steps and I dove in this head on, right? So for all my new people, that's what I'm going to tell you. You want the results. You want it to come fast. It's going to be, you got to put that work in. If you want quick results, put in more work. If you're not getting the results you want, put in more work. That's how this process is going to go faster and go easier. I want to give a little shout out to just Trade House. That's my group, because I know a lot of people are on here from Trade House. But tonight I want to go over, so I'm going to show you guys how I mark up, right? It's very, I try to keep it simple.
Right, Jamielle, I'm going to stop sharing and let you start sharing. Right. Do you mind muting your notifications, because we're going to record. It's going to be on YouTube. We'll also give you a copy to share with your team. So I'm going to stop sharing and mute myself out, and you got the floor from here.
All right, let me go. Sorry. All right, I'm going to mute these. All right. So drop a 1 if you're profitable, and drop a 2 if you're still learning, because I just want to see where majority everybody at. 1 if you're profitable, 2 if you're still learning. I saw a 3 in there. What that mean? All right, so we got a lot of 2s, losing 1s. All right, so I'm seeing more 2s than 1s, right? So guys, the trading is not hard, right? But you have to stay consistent. That's what the hard part is. So I've watched people personally. I made $1,000 in a day, and then at the end of the week I ended with 0. Right, so you're gonna have a lot of highs and lows with this, but the part that makes it hard is staying consistent. So I feel like what I'm gonna go over tonight is to help you guys stay consistent, right? That's what I hope my lesson tonight will be. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. I'm gonna show you guys how I mark up, and then I'll go into the how to be profitable, how to be consistent. So you guys drop a pair for me that you want me to do. Whichever one you see first, I'll do it. Gold. All right, so we'll start with gold. So personally, I use TradingView to mark up. I know some people use MT4, all those things. Personally, I use TradingView. I like it. So we're gonna start. I do top-down analysis, right? So I start on, and like I said, so my style is gonna be a lot similar to Gigi and Clint, obviously, that I was mentored by them. Oh, Gigi, are you recording this? It's recorded, yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so top-down analysis. So I start on the monthly time frame, right? And I just want to box in price so that I can predict what's going to happen next, right? And personally, I like to do it when the market is closed, right? So most of the time I do my weekly markup on the weekend so that I don't have to worry about price, you know, moving or anything. So I'm going to showcase this overall on the monthly. Gold is on a downtrend, right? But temporarily, it's on an uptrend. So some people ask, can you be in the same trade in 2 different ways and still be in profit? Yes, you can. So again, on my monthly time frame, I showcase my downtrend and my uptrend. Now I'm going to my weekly. Like I said, I'm just trying to get closer to price, right? And you guys can stop me at any point and ask me questions if you have it. But this is how I mark them. So again, keep going. Now I'm on my weekly time frame. Again, on my week, overall, I can see gold is in a buy. But I should know to be a little hesitant because on my overall time frame, on the monthly, price is at my downtrend, which means I should be looking for a sell. So I'm gonna just showcase this little box. So look, last time price was in this area, it sold, right? So again, price is right at my trend line right now. So yes, overall it's in a buy, but I should know I should be expecting the sell. Right? So keep going, monthly, weekly, daily, most important time frames, right? Because you want to see the overall direction of which way the market's going. So I'm on my monthly, weekly, daily. Again, showcase my uptrend. I called a sell for my team this week for gold, right? And we made money off that, but I'm gonna show y'all where we actually made money at. So keep going on my 4 hour. Now this is where I will showcase that where my downtrend starts happening. Like I said, we can see overall we're on the uptrend, but price is selling. So I want to showcase that. And in order to have a valid trend line, guys, you have to have touches. So you see how my trend line is touching, right? So my team, we caught this sell. Let me see. I can actually tell you. Let me look at let's look at our entry for it. Sorry guys, give me 1 second and then I'll tell you. So we caught it. Gold. All right, I'm trying to find it. If I can't find it, it's okay. All right, I'm having a hard time finding it, guys. I might just say forget it. But anyways, we caught gold. I want to say it was on my break in retest. It might have been this one. So you guys know, well, all my people know, the market moves in 3 ways, right? Gigi and Clint instilled that in my head. It goes impulse, correction, continuation, right? So I knew that I did not catch this initial sell, right? But I knew gold was going to sell because I saw my impulse. So I waited for the correction, and then what we caught was the continuation. Now, this is what I want to add for my people that are saying that they're not being profitable or they're not being consistent. So one, guys, you have to adapt to the market, right? And on top of that, you have to find what works for you. You have to find trading styles and tips that work for you and just perfect those. Like I heard Gigi before I got on the session, don't be the jack of all trades. Get good at something and you'll be good. But a lot of people have been trying to hold trades. I feel like that's why a lot of people haven't been consistent recently, right? And yes, the market moves in 3 ways, but I haven't been swing trading as much, right? I've been more scalping. And the reason being is because, so look, we have this impulse of almost 700 pips, right? So let's say I catch my 700 pips, but I know that it's going to sell all the way down here. Yes, it's going to sell all the way down there, but before it does that, it has to retrace. So personally, I've been getting out of trades once the initial move happens and then waiting for the retracement to hop back in, because like I said, I've noticed people, they ride the impulse. They'll be up, let's just say if that's 700 pips, let's just say $700. But then you try to hold it and now you're only up going on what, 200. And let's say you close out there because you're so upset, but it's really gonna keep selling, but you're trying to hold it for so long. Right, so the market has been having really deep retracements. I don't know if y'all noticed. And so on those, all you have to do is just catch the move, get out, wait for the retracement, and then hold the trade. Especially people with smaller account sizes, right? So only people that should be like swing trading is if you have a large account size. But even then, I tell you, like, this is a good move. Catch your pips and get out, right? Because you don't want to get all this and you holding it and then it just pulls back and you only get a little bit. But again, like I said, this is emotional. So you're going to get upset that you missed all these pips and you're probably going to close it not to realize that it's just going to keep selling. Right? So that's top-down analysis. I wanted to add that in there. So for gold, if you caught the sell this week, honestly, you should have left it alone after that. Right? Catch your pips and then move on to the next one, because the market, I want you to think, can somebody mute themselves? The market, yes, it's giving out free money, but you got to know they're going to try to add some tricks here and there to make it a little harder, right? So these retracements, personally, like this time last year, I feel like the retracements weren't this deep. Like you were a little easier at holding trades and letting them ride. But that's where being adaptable to the market and not being so like focused on your bias, letting the market work for you. Let the move come to you. Don't force it. So look, again, so this one, we got a clean impulse. We could have waited for our correction, and then we would have got the continuation, right? And then again, another correction, could have traded the continuation. So for gold right now, I see possibly another correction, and then we'll get the big sell that's coming, right? And that's literally top-down analysis. That's how I mark up. Does anybody have any questions on that? I'll mark up a couple other pairs, or if you have questions on me saying that the retracements are deep or anything. Anyone have questions? Everybody good? All right, give me another pair to mark up. Impulse, correction, continuation. What defines when you enter on the continuation? So personally, so when it comes to entries, I will use indicators, right? So I will use my I use my RSI, I use my MACD, and I wait till price has good momentum to enter. So personally, this one, like we had our impulse correction. So you can either catch this two ways. You can catch it when it pulls back, and let's say you use fibs, this would help you. So I pull out my fib. This one hit right at my 618. So for some people, you could have took this trade here, right? Let the impulse happen, wait for the correction. To me, the 618 is one of the golden areas, right? So you could have waited for there. But let's say you missed that. You missed the 618 move. You could, again, let this impulse happen and waited for this correction. Because I could have had this trend line there if price wasn't there, right? So this trend line, when it broke this, I could have known I entered. So most of my entries are on the break of trend lines. And even if you miss the break of the trend line, there's most likely going to be a retracement, right? So you see, broke our trend line, retested it, and then broke, but it came back. So I keep broken trend lines personally, right? When my trend line gets broken on the buy or the sell, I'll keep it because the market usually is going to retrace back to that broken trend line. And we saw that here. So price was, this is on the 1 hour, it was on a buy, right? On an overall buy. came right to my trend line, retest, and then broke. When it broke again, it retested it again, and I could have caught the continuation. So you had possible 3 chances right in here to catch this move. Let's see. All right, what time frames are the best for? So the overall trend, so somebody asked what time frames are the best for entries and finding trends. For me, finding the trend, I use 4 hour, 2 hour, and 1 hour. When I'm finding entries, I use the 15 minute and the 5 minute. I'm gonna go over Bitcoin because that played out perfectly this week. Can you demonstrate support and resistance? And then I'll go over support and resistance in the Bitcoin trade. Right, so Bitcoin, guys, this was my markup for it, and it played out like the impulse correction continuation can't get any easier in this. Right, so how I mark up, and I want to tell you guys this, how I mark up crypto is a little different than how I mark up Forex pairs, right? Because crypto is a lot more volatile. So I usually trade it from zone to zone. And that's why I have these boxes here. I'm going to remark it up to show you guys, but I want to show you, this was my prediction for the week, right? So we got our impulse, and got some corrections. People ask, like, how do you know when a correction's over? All that. Sometimes you don't know. You don't know. That's why we react to price. We wait for price to make its move, and then we react. But this one, so we got our impulse. I saw the correction start coming. You can see a correction because, look, price is choppy within this area. You see that? It's not. So we got that clean buy, and then price became very, very, very choppy. And then, so let's say you wanted to try to catch this Bitcoin move, right? My suggestion would be when price is in a channel, this is words from Clint, if you're trying to catch the buy for it, you can take it at the bottom. So we buy low and we sell high. This goes also with support and resistance, right? So at support, we buy because price was supported here. So every time price came here, it shot up. Came here, shot up. Came here, shot up. And at resistance, price sells, right? So right here is sold. Right here is sold again. Shout out to my boy Kevin Alexis. He's Mr. Bitcoin, right? So he ate for our team. We caught a lot of pips with this. So again, impulse, correction, continuation. Now let's say you missed this buy right here, right? You missed it. But we had the cleanest correction you could probably get, right? It don't get no more perfect than this. And as soon as this broke our trend line, it literally retested it. This one was a small retest, but let's say you missed it. Let's say you missed this initial. It retested our broken trend line and shot all the way up. Right? So our team, we caught Bitcoin this week. And if it plays out like it is again, we might get another clean buy. This is nothing but what happened right here. Right? Price was in this channel. It's correcting. So I expect another big buy. But I want to show you guys how I mark up crypto so I can explain it a little better. Because like I said, I personally don't mark it up how I mark up Forex pairs. With crypto, you see how it looks like this? It looks all weird. It does not even look like a Forex pair. I usually start on like the weekly, and I literally start with just showcasing the highs and the lows of price. Personally, I like the colors, so I do darker colors for higher time frames, and I do lighter colors on the small time frame. So this is my zone I know for the weekly. Let's put it up here. And I know we got these wicks all the way up here, but we don't care about that. We want price, where it's at. So again, we're on our daily. So this is where I may add trend lines, but I want you guys to know Bitcoin will break trend lines, but it will still make the same move. So it might break our trend line, like let's say it breaks our downtrend, but it still might sell. So you can use trend lines. I just personally like zones better. So on my monthly, weekly, daily, all I did was draw this little box and this little box. And these are basically my support and resistance areas. So here, price resisted, it was selling. Right here, price was buying. So again, overall Bitcoin, we knew the buy was coming, right? Because price is at a low that it's never really been at before. So keep going. Now we're on our 4 hour. So like I said, we know price overall is in our low area. So on this time frame, I'm not going to draw anything. I could showcase this downtrend, but it's not really worth it. So keep going down to our 1 hour. I'm gonna, let's see, how do I want to showcase this? So I'm gonna showcase it like this. I really want to do my settings. All right, so I'm gonna put a little area in the middle, because I don't know if you guys know this, but previous support can become resistance and previous resistance can become support, right? So what does that mean? So this area that I'm about to draw, so right here, it acted as support, right? When price came here, it bought up. Price came here, it bought up, again, bought up. But when price came here, it sold. So when price gets to right here for Bitcoin, it could do two things, right? It can either buy up or it can sell. So I like to keep, this is like my questionable area personally, wherever it's in the middle, when you, because like I said, support can become resistance and resistance can become support. So I just use this area as caution, like it could go either way, just be careful. But we see that the overall, we should be looking for the buy because one, we're at a support area. And two, like I said, overall price has been in an uptrend on the smaller time frames. For me, when you're entering, when you're trading Bitcoin, if you don't have a large account size, even if you do, I still suggest watching it on the smaller time frame, right? Because if you've traded Bitcoin, you know how volatile it is. Just like it pays super good, it could take it all away. So you just want to be cautious when it's at zones that you might not know at. But so we saw that it broke my trend line. That's another way, like I said, I know that Bitcoin is overall in the buy. It has now broken my uptrend. I mean my downtrend. Right? So what I'm waiting for, and this is when you can pull out your fibs. It's going, so impulse, correction, continuation. Right? So now here is when so personally, when you get money from Bitcoin, leave it alone. That's what I'm gonna say. When you make your money for Bitcoin, leave it alone, because one, you don't want to give that money back, but two, like right now, this could be just a big correction. But you see how we got this strong, aggressive move? It could do both. It could maybe sell off one more time, maybe even down here, because it might retest this trend line and take out these little areas right here. I'm sorry for my notifications. I thought I muted them. But so Bitcoin is either going to do two things. It's going to buy up to my area right here, or it could sell off a little bit more to get the rest of our buy, right? But I liked it on my other chart because I had this markup before, it did that. And so, but I do see the buy overall because this is the trend line that it just broke and now it's retesting it. So again, that's why I said I keep broken trend lines, because you can possibly use them as retest areas. And so personally, like I said, I'm looking for the rest of the buy for Bitcoin. possibly to here, and then to my trend line. And then, guys, we have trend lines for a reason, right? So when it comes to my trend line, don't just assume that it's going to keep buying. Like I said, we have trend lines for a reason. So at my trend lines, that's where you want to keep the heads up that it might go the other way. Don't just assume, oh, what price is buying, it's going to break my trend line. No, we're not playing the guessing game with this. We're following market structure. We're following trend lines. Again, every time it came here, it sold. Even though it is at an all-time low, yes, we're expecting the buy, but we don't know how long the buy will be. Any questions on Bitcoin?
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So at the top line you have right there. So would that be where you put your stop loss at? Because you know that it would go back down and it wouldn't break your trend line.
Which top line?
So the top your trend line. So if you know that it's gonna go up but it's not gonna break your trend line, would you put your stop loss? I mean your take profit right there?
You saying so I put my TP right at my trend line?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, so for me, that was like, because I wanted to be, like I said, so I just use trend lines as this of caution,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it is kind of just a heads up, but you see it still broke it, but it retested it. But I usually, so yes, this will be my last TP where my trend line is. But within here, I will have like little small TPs. So when I call trades, dang it. When I call trades, when I call trades, I have the ultimate of how high I see it going, but I have TPs, along the way in case we go that high.
Okay, I understand. Thank you.
All right, let me go back. Sorry, guys. I don't know what I clicked on. I'm 19. Thank you. Let me see. Do you think that with news, that organization that wants to start buying and using Bitcoin goes to 3K thing? Personally, I don't know. I've been hearing a lot of stuff about Bitcoin. Apparently, this big spike was something that happened to it. Never knew how to mark up a chart before, but she explained it. So thank you. I'm glad I can make it a little easier. So any more questions about Bitcoin? This, like I said, this has been my markup, this same markup for the last couple months. Because if you see Bitcoin, I mean, it just goes to these areas. And I know like the purple ones, the darker ones are my stronger areas because they're on the higher time frame. And then these in the middle are less as strong.
Jamielle, can I ask you a question about cryptocurrencies?
Yeah.
Do they tend to move more on the weekend when the traditional Forex market is closed, or does it not matter?
Yeah, well, I've noticed it does move a little more. And I feel like, I mean, personally, I just think it's because you got to think Forex is closed. So majority of people that trade are doing crypto and things. But it does move. Like you'll either get a big move, I've noticed, Saturday or Sunday. And it usually happens like around, if it happens Sunday, it'll usually be around like 12 or 1. And then on Saturday, it'll be like later in the day. But yeah, it moves more on the weekend. But this move happened, Kev, when did this happen? October 19th? October 9th? Let's see when that was. Somebody tell me when October 9th was. I got it. So October 9th was a Wednesday. That's when that happened. And when did this happen? This happened on the 7th. So Monday. So Sunday leading into Monday. That's kind of when that happened. But like I said, this was just new, like apparently there was some really big Bitcoin news. That's what happened. But let's see if we could look at these other ones. They're probably weekend news.
What do you use? I don't mean to interrupt or anything, but like what do you use to get like all your news from and stuff? And like when like the people who like who write about different companies or different stocks or
So for Forex, like news and stuff, I just use Forex Factory. Personally for Bitcoin and things, I really just hear by word of mouth. Like some mentees or whatever will be like, yo, I saw this about Bitcoin. And honestly, that's how I'll be finding out. But I mean, I don't know if anybody has any crypto like websites or anything. Y'all can drop them in the chat. I personally don't. This is the only thing I really follow news on, which is Forex Factory.
All right.
All right. Let's see. Do you use one chart to mark up all your pairs? What do you mean? And I'll mark up USD CAD. I don't get what you're saying for do you use one chart to mark up all your pairs? So, again, like this was my markup. I'll explain how we got there. Yeah, we got that big sell with USD CAD, and that was my prediction for the week. I had this little line right here. I knew when it got in my blue zone. So if we see again what price did every time it came here, it sold. Every time it came here, it sold. And this matches perfectly with my fibs, right? So it came to my 786 and sold right to my trend line. Let's see. Haven't learned about fibs yet. Can you recommend a video? I don't have any personally. Maybe if you watch, Gigi has, guys, if y'all haven't checked out her YouTube, go watch it. It's tons and tons of gems, right? Hours and hours and hours. And that's what I liked about her session, because she let other people get on it. So it was, you got different people's point of view, right? So trading isn't about literally duplicating what somebody else did. Like, yes, I was mentored by Clint, but my trading is not exactly like his. I took what I liked from his, I took what I liked from other people's, and I made it my own. That's what you got to do within yours. That's why this is a journey, right? Yeah, Gigi's YouTube, I think somebody just dropped it in there. So go check out, and there's all kinds of videos.
And this video will be on there. Thanks to Grant, he records and uploads it for me, but this video will be on there for you guys too. So yes, it's being recorded. But if Jamielle doesn't go over fibs in detail, I usually stay on a few minutes when the guest host is done, and we can cover it, so she can keep dropping nuggets, and we'll cover fibs later if you guys need to.
Okay, all right. So she got that.
I have a question.
What's up?
Is there anything in regards to a technicality where there's a major support and resistance and a minor support and resistance?
Yeah. So I mean, your major support and resistance are gonna be on the higher time frames, right? So you got to know, the higher the time frame, the stronger it is. So if I have a support and resistance on my daily or my weekly, I would consider those major, and then my minor ones would be the ones that are maybe on the 1 hour and 15 minute. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
All right. So like I said, I'm gonna start from scratch with USD CAD. Just pull up a blank one. Again, this is old. So I'm starting on my monthly time frame, right? So again, box in price, same procedure. I'm gonna showcase this downtrend, showcase this uptrend, and like I know price has all this that happened over there, but we don't really care about that. We want to see what happens more like recently. So start on my monthly, go down to my weekly. I'm not gonna draw anything. Like I said, honestly, guys, less is more with this. The less you trade, the less risk you have, but the more money you can possibly make. And for all my people that are saying they're not consistent also, you need to have a weekly goal or a daily goal so you can know when to stop trading, right? Because I know a lot of people, like I said, personally, I've made $1,000 like at the beginning of the week, and then at the end of the week I had $0 because I just kept over trading and I was feeling so good about it. But had I just followed my goals or whatever, next week I would have been up 1K. Right? So you have to have goals and a trading plan so you know when to stop and leave it alone and just enjoy your wins. And it's quality over quantity. Right? So I tell my team, because we send out multiple trades for them to enter so that they can make money. We try to send out trades throughout the day. But I tell them, guys, if you find a good trade, just keep re-entering it. Right? Milk the trade. Because listen, if I had one good trade and then one bad trade, they're basically gonna count each other out because that one did good and one did bad. But if I had one good trade and I just kept re-entering it, I'm good. I'm all blue and everything. So I don't I don't like to call a lot of trades, but I want the trades that I do call, I want them to hit. If y'all, a lot of people in my meal plan, they ask for signals like all day. And I'm like, guys, the whole point of us doing Forex is to get our time back. We don't want to spend all this time on the charts, right? We want to be able to do what we want when we want.
Can I ask a question real quick? I don't mean to disrupt you.
Go for it.
So when you say like you keep staying in the trade, and you're saying as in like you ride the trade,
Mm-hmm.
as in you find a good trade, and you find the resistance and all that, and you like once it's once the continuation is getting ready to go down, you can follow it, and then right after you buy again.
Yeah. So let's say we'll go to a smaller time frame, right? So USD CAD. So let's say I saw on a 15-minute, let's just say I saw, we could say we saw this whole impulse. And then I saw the continuation, right? So let's go on a smaller time frame. So I would have put in like I suggest when your trade first starts going blue, your first entry should be your smallest one, right?
Okay.
Just in case the trade doesn't go your way, like you're not over leveraging anything. But when you finally see it start going your way, that's when I would tell you maybe like double up or things like that. And so me, like I tell my peoples, I usually have a TP1, a TP2, and let's just say this was TP3, right? So when I'm stacking orders, a couple of my orders are just going to go to TP1. When they hit TP1, I want to close them out so those can be guaranteed.
Okay.
And a couple of these that I have, I will hold them. So let's just say I have 4 positions in. 2 of them I'm gonna let hit TP1 because that's guaranteed money. Then the other ones I'm gonna move my stop loss either to TP1 or I'm gonna move it a little above my entry and ride it.
Oh, that makes sense. So you buy multiple trades. You buy multiple of one trade, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And I feel like that's how you're gonna. So look, this one move was how many pips? Let's just say 100. But by me putting in 3 and 4 orders, I could turn this 100 pip trade into possibly 400 pips. Right.
A good example of that this week, I think it was Euro-JPY went like 500 pips. You could have turned that into 1,000 easy by getting in and holding it all week and stacking. So like she's saying, quality over quantity. If you find one good trade that's giving you exactly what you need, don't mess with anything else.
Okay.
Oh, that makes sense, guys?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm a.
How do you capitalize without how do you know when to not capitalize on the trade and when to get out?
Explain a little more what you mean.
I mean I know personally, but just for those who don't know, like people always asking, is it too late? Like how do they catch the how do they know if it's how
Like when is it time to stop milking it?
Yeah,
So,
or if let's say I seen you post a trade like an hour ago, but I see it's continuing, but it's starting to pull back, but I don't know yet how to grasp impulse correction, you know what I'm saying, continuation yet. How do I know when to hop back in? Let's say it's maybe making let's say it's in a sale and it's starting to pull back, and then next thing you know we have another bearish 15-minute candle close. Is that when I hop in necessarily, or do I wait? Like what do I know?
This is when I say indicators come into play and things like that. So look, on this 1 hour, we see that it was straight selling and things like that. But this is when you want to re-enter. So personally, my trades, I try to put the entry price there. So for people that, like maybe I called it an hour ago, but if you look at price and you see that price is still close to my entry price, that should be like clues to you that I can still enter the trade, right? And some of this stuff, guys, is gonna take time. It's going to take trial and error for you to learn. So I can't tell you exactly like re-enter here, right? Re-enter here. I always tell people try to find just pullbacks on the smaller time frame. That's what I can tell you. So on the 1 minute and the 15-minute, I'm trying. Let's see if I can find a good one. Maybe like.
especially with SPX 500 and U30.
Oh, geez. Re-entering on those. So those, I don't know. I have to look at those and try to like talk to you about them. But,
Those are scary.
yeah, I was about to,
It's scary, but if it's a strong move, it's easy to catch 25.
yeah. I mean, it's not like you can, bro, but those would just be the ones like,
They move so quick.
yeah. It's hard to, because even those, I trade those on the smaller time frame. Like when I trade SPX and US30, most of the time I'm looking at it on the 15-minute anyway. So it's like,
because I treat the 15-minute like it's an hour on that pair.
Because the way they move, you have to. So it's like, me on those, I really don't re-enter. I just find a good move and try to hold it.
And for you new traders who don't know what they're talking about trading indices, which move like 30, 40 times more volatile than the pairs that she's drawing up for you now. So if you're a new trader, those are things you want to stay away from for right now. You don't want to trade the US 30 or the S&P 500 or the NAS. So I just wanted to drop that for the new people who don't know what the indices are that they're talking about.
Yeah, so guys, US 30 is just the top 30 stock companies, right? And then SPX, there are more stocks, but it's less volatile. And then NAS is the same. But so this one I found a kind of a good move. So let's say I called USD CAD for the buy, right? I called it right in there. So you saw we're up, let's see how many pips this would be. We're up 14 pips, right? And like I said, I try to put my entry price. If I don't, then it's hard to tell if you missed it. This is when you just using your common knowledge of if it's in a buy or in a sell. And I tell people this, guys, if you take signals at the end of the day, you should still make your own evaluation, right? If somebody call a buy and it doesn't look like a buy to you, don't take it because you're risking your money. I mean, obviously trust someone that has more experience, but if you know a little bit about trading and you feel like you can spot buys or sells and something not looking right, do not take it. But so here, and I would just tell, like, you have to enter on pullbacks, but it's hard to say when it's over. So let's see if we can find this on the 1 minute. Dang it, it went too far. So, I mean, you can just re-enter on the pullbacks. And I would just tell you, yes, there is more risk, but I tell you, use the same stop loss. But let's say we would have re-entered there, we still would have had no drawdown. Even if you missed this entry, you could have re-entered here and got 28 pips with no drawdown.
What about using the RSI for entries, like when it get below like 20 or 25?
Yeah, so that's another way, and that's when you going on the smaller time frames to see if it's at a high or a low on the smaller time frames. But I use RSI a lot, and when I teach people, I teach them using RSI so I can tell them literally just practice buying or selling it at your highs and lows on the 15-minute and the 5-minute, because that's gonna get you in the habit of seeing those buys and sells. And honestly, that's a quick like scout method. You're on the 5-minute and the 15-minute, practice buying it and selling it at your RSI, at your highs and your lows.
Okay, can you add the RSIs and let's see like get the entries like practically?
Yeah.
Let's with the MACD.
Let me delete the MACD. So RSI. So for those people that don't know what RSI is, it's the relative strength index, right? So it measures price on whatever time frame it is, and it gives you the highs and lows. Now on MT4, I just use the default settings, right? Because I don't really use RSI on here. I use it more on my phone. And I can give you guys my settings on my phone. So I do my 80 is my strong sell area. And then my, I didn't mean to send, I just sent that to somebody privately. Sorry, Godson. All right, hold on. 80 is my strong sell. My 70 is just my sell area. My 50 is my ranging area. My 30 is my buy area. And then 20 is my strong buy area. So you guys can add that on your MT4. Personally, I like it better on MT4 than putting it on here. Because on here, I just want to see the highs and the lows. On MT4 is when I look to find the entries. So it's easier on there. Does that make sense? On here, they just use what, the 70 and looks like the 30. And those are good areas to use. So I'm gonna keep going through USD CAD, and you guys can ask me questions along the way. Like I said, guys, the whole re-entering part is going to come from practice. So I'm saying when you first start, you just need to practice riding the wave. Hitting TP1, like hitting your TPs, that's it. Then when you get better at it, that's when you want to focus on finding those re-entries, finding how to max on trades. But you can't learn how to max on trades if you can't hold just one yet. So for my people that are like, well, how do you find re-entries? Work on just, like I said, making sure it hits TP. So again, start on my monthly. We're boxing in price. Go down. So USD CAD. When I was learning, I don't know why, but I felt like this was Clint's favorite pair. He always liked USD CAD. But as you can see on the higher time frame, so guys, the impulse correction continuation, get in the habit of seeing those, right? Because that's just going to make this so much easier. So we got our impulse. This channel right here that USD CAD in was nothing but a correction, right? And then we got the continuation. So what USD CAD is in right now is really another big correction. It's kind of a messy one, but we're still waiting on this big sell from USD CAD. It's coming. It's just a matter of when now, right? So again, going back to I'm gonna go to the 4 hour. Price was right at my resistance. If I had this little line up here, on my last chart, I had this box. So I do boxes around areas where price really struggled at. So we could see up here, change the color. We could see on here, price is, every time it came here, it sold. And USD CAD, I don't know if y'all noticed, but it likes to do this right when it comes to the trend line. Price consolidates at it, right? Price like hugs the trend line before it actually drops. So, and that's why getting good at one pair is the way to go, right? Because each pair does the same thing. It does the impulse correction continuation, but the patterns it gives within it is going to be catered to that pair, right? So if you get good at USD CAD, you'll learn the patterns within it so you can know exactly what's going to happen. And even with like Euro-JPY, personally, I like Euro-JPY because that
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you to do that one next.
Okay, I will. To me, that one's just so clean. Like you can see impulse correction continuation really clean on there. Where do I input this on MT4? So for the if you're trying to put RSI on your MT4, you click on it, you'll press indicators, and you'll find relative strength index, and you'll type in the numbers that I gave. But so like I said, at the beginning of the week, when I did my markup, well, which was on Saturday, when I did my markup for USD CAD, I knew the sell was coming, right? Because I knew price, every time it was in this area, it sold. And so again, it did that famous little pattern where it consolidates right at the little trend line, right in my, what is this, resistance areas. It consolidates and then it breaks out. So I'm trying to think. I did not call USD CAD this week, but this was a really easy sell. And for my people that caught it, you caught some good pips. Let's see how many. Yeah, you could still, if you're holding, you could still be up a good 86 pips. So what do I see? What are we waiting for USD CAD next week? I do see it probably buying up to retrace and maybe even retest this area, but we'll get the rest of the sell maybe to our trend line. But long term, I want USD CAD, and although I want this to happen doesn't mean it will, but I want that big sell that we're gonna get, the big drop, right? And if I were to drag this area over here, it matches with this high, so I knew, again, that's extra confirmation that it's gonna sell. Does that make sense? In some time frame, guys, you can make your prediction on the higher time frame. You don't have to go all, like that one I finished on the 4 hour. But when I enter it, I'm gonna enter still on the smaller time frame. So you make your analysis, you make your prediction on the, let's just say the 4 hour to 2 hour, you want to enter on the 1 hour and the 15 minute. If you mark up on the 2 hour and the 1 hour, you want to enter on the 15 minute or the 5 minute. Okay. I'm gonna do Euro-JPY next. Oh, I want to look at the GBP pairs. I want to show you guys that because those bought like crazy. So this was my markup for Euro JPY. This was my prediction. So I saw the impulse. We got our correction again right to our 618. When it broke my trend line for the up, it retested it and then continued. So this, like I said, Euro JPY, it does impulse correction, continuation, like honestly to the T. But I'm gonna remark it up for you guys. So again, guys, this is repetition. Gigi could tell you I used to send her my markups. I did 25 charts a week, right? Clint made me do that, but I'm thankful for it because now the market is really easy for me to see. And no, I'm not telling y'all to do that, but I'm telling you the more you see it, the easier it's gonna be. The reason I'm able to mark up maybe quickly or just maybe it looks so easy is because I had the times when it wasn't easy. I would like, Clint would mark up and then I would go do it myself and it was not as easy as it was for him. But it's because I hadn't been doing it as much. So really practice marking up, practice looking at the charts, and find a pair you like, guys. I always tell this story about my boy Kevin. He just got good at Bitcoin. He didn't want to trade anything else. He liked how fast it moved. He got on IML and did the little cryptocurrency part, and he just got good at crypto. So just find a pair that you like. Personally, I wanted to get good at everything because I wanted to be able to teach people how to trade eventually. So I knew I had to learn everything. But for people that just want to be profitable in this, get good at one pair and milk it and trade it both ways and learn its patterns. Keep going. So my monthly, weekly, I'm going to showcase Euro-JPY overalls on the sell, right? But I know low-key I should be looking for the buy because it's at my support. It's at my uptrend. It's right at my trend line, right? So yes, overall it's on the sell, but I'm looking for the buy. So again, go to my weekly. Like I said, every time frame, guys, you don't have to draw something. I'm going to just clean up my trend line at this one. And as we can see, Euro-JPY, like I said, this is why I like it. Impulse, correction, continuation. We had a correction, continuation, correction, continuation. And it did the same thing. Now it's just going towards the buy. And if I had this trend line, let me show you guys. Let's say I would have had this downtrend. Oh, well, we could keep this one. So I'm going to showcase that downtrend. Keep it. Yes, it broke, I know, but I'm just keeping it. So monthly, weekly, daily. Now I'm going to go to my 4 hour. Right? So we saw our sell was over. Right? Our sell was over technically when it broke this trend line. We got the impulse. It impulsed all the way up here. But it came down and retested. So let's say you were watching this, you could have either saw this impulse, waited for this little correction and then caught that, or you could have let the whole move happen. And like I said, this is why I keep broken trend lines as we can see, it broke our trend line just to come right back to it. Right? Do you guys see that? Sold right to it and then came up. And then we got another correction right there, and then continuation. Right? So for Euro-JPY, what do I see happening? I see the buy continuing to happen, but before we get a buy, we got to get another correction. So it may retest our trend line, and then we'll get the rest of the buy. Right? But I like this pair. If you're new, honestly, get good at Euro-JPY. You can really see the impulses and the corrections and the continuation.
And what's the best session to trade Euro-JPY? Is it London or New York?
I guess I would say London, but I trade based on when it moves.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm more of a price action. Whenever price moves, that's when, like, I do get up for London session and things like that because I know it's gonna move, but it's really based on when it just happens. And that's personally why I have, like, I pay for TradingView and I pay for the little alerts so that
That was going to be my next question. So you could let them know when you draw those trend lines and you're waiting for a break, do you set an alert on your trend line?
Yep. So I set them, and then, like I said, and I usually have them on like both ways. So I have it when I want to alert when it breaks my trend line, but I know majority of the time when it breaks my trend line, it's gonna come back to it. So I might have another alert like close to that trend line, so I'll know. And to me, that just makes it easier because you don't want to, like, guys, this is free money, but you do have to, like, do things to get it. So I never want to just miss a move just because I wasn't looking at it at the moment when I can have, like, alerts and things like that. So I personally, I feel like it's a good investment. It's going to help you get good at entries, and it's going to help you to not have to stare at it all the time. Like, sometimes in the beginning, this is what I struggled with. I knew the move was going to happen. I just didn't know when. Right? And I feel like that's what a lot of people struggle with in the beginning. It was easy for me to predict what was going to happen. It was just hard for me to actually trade it and catch it live. So like I said, I got the alerts, and then sometimes I just had to stare at them and try to figure it out. Let me answer some of these questions.
Okay. So for the TradingView alerts, how much does that cost? How do you?
So they have different options. You can get Pro. I think you can get Pro Plus. I think mine's is like $20 a month. There's one for, like, I think 10. But
wait until next month, the Black Friday sale, you'll get about 50% off.
Or you can do that too. And they have it where you can play it yearly at a time, or you can pay it monthly or half a year, all this. Okay, sorry. Yeah. Oh, thanks. I personally trade off Wickoff. Are you familiar? So I'm not gonna lie, I used to do that. Trade off the Wickoff. So those usually happen in, like, odd pairs, right? So let's look at GN. And I'll just show you an example. So personally, this is something that I would have done. Like, so a Wickoff is basically it's self-explanatory, trading off the wick. So most of the time what I have been noticing was when news would come out, it would shoot price in the opposite direction, take out those stop losses, and then do exactly what you want, right? So for a while, I do this sometimes, but not as much. But for a while, I would literally just wait for it to shoot up, wait for the wick to happen, watch on the smaller time frame, and I would try to catch it at the top of the wick and then just ride it down. Right? So that's a little hack for you guys, or a little trading gem. Most of the time, wicks show you the opposite way the market's going to go. So if you get a wick to the downside, the market's usually going to go up. And if you get a wick towards the upside, it means price is usually going to go down. So yes, I'm going to, like I said, I don't do it as much because personally I call trades. So, like, to catch wick offs, you have to catch it right then and there. But that is something that I used to do. Can you set alerts for impulses? So TradingView, you just set the alert when it breaks your trend line. Be my mentor, I love you. Oh, I love you too. Do you need pro for alerts? Yes. So on the free one, you get 1 alert. So you'll get 1 free alert. But with the other ones, you get, I think the first one you get 10, like the pro, and then I think pro plus you get like 30. Yeah, somebody put that. Yeah, if you get the trial, it's how. So I was doing the trial for a while. I'm not gonna lie. I really didn't want to pay at first. I was just doing the trial, kept doing that. Any significance on the shape of the correction or flag? So guys, again, that comes with you getting good at one pair. So like I said, the correction and the flags are gonna look different based on each pair. So some of them, like, let me see, GA probably has certain things it does in its corrections versus Euro-JPY that might have a different, it's still a correction, it just may look different. So so there's no significance on the shape of them, it's just based on the pair it is, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Like phase A, B, C, I don't trade that. Oh, I don't know, then I don't do that. I don't know what that is. A, B. Is that, like, I use harmonic scanner. I wonder if it's similar to that. So guys, I'll do one more pair and then I'll just do questions. Because like I said, the thing I want to show you guys, I feel like people struggle with in the beginning is not even that they don't know how to trade, it's just about being profitable and being consistent. Right? So I know, what's up?
I'm sorry. Will you please do US 30?
Okay, US 30. So I'll end with that one, guys. So if you don't know, US 30 moves the same as NAS and SPX. They literally move the exact same way, but they all have different volatility levels. Right? So US 30 is the most volatile out of them. Then the second like less volatile would be NAS 100, and then you have SPX 500. That's like the baby out of them, but they all move the exact same. So I'll mark up US 30. So again, same. Oh my God, why do I keep doing this? Same thing. We'll start on the monthly time frame. And like I said, so indices, you got to know they're going to move a little different than Forex pairs because it's not a Forex pair. This is the old mark. Oh, guys, look. So this is the old markup. Oh, it's old. So start on my monthly. Oh, I don't like this US 30. All right, here you go. So again, start on my monthly, same thing, boxing in price. This is my high, and then these are my lows. And I know price broke right here, but it came right back just to retest it. Right, so again, my monthly, now I'm on my weekly. So price is closer to my high. So first thought process, like looking at US 30, I would be looking for the sell. Right, because we sell high and we buy low. Keep going. Now I'm on my daily. Personally, again, I wouldn't draw anything. Because like nothing's really standing out. Maybe I could showcase this uptrend. But like I said, overall, I'm looking for the sell. Monthly, weekly, daily, going to my 4-hour. So US 30. It sold for a while, right? Let me see. Hold on, let me go back. So some pairs, I'm not even gonna lie to you. When I don't like how it looks, I leave it alone, right? But I mean, I do like US 30. I see the overall sell for it. So this was our impulse. Let me see if it broke our fib already, or would it line up? Fib. So if I put it right there, it lines up with our 886. But if I put it down here, oh, what's those? Okay. So personally, me, the 886 line, sometimes that's a sign for me that it might just go the other way. But sometimes it does come here and just sell off. Personally, I don't like it. Like, I don't like US 30 right now. I need like a clean move. Like, we already missed the clean move, and I think like this is just a big impulse and then correction, and then we'll get the sell. But let's see. I don't know. This one just be like, I don't know when to enter this one. Right? Maybe on the break of this trend line. This one's still like, I feel like I'm forcing it. So, like if I didn't catch this sell right here, I would have just left it alone. Like, I'll leave US 30 alone until it gets, because if you guys look overall, well, it still is at the top of our channel. So yeah, the sell's coming. It's just when. I'm gonna highlight this little area. So we know when price gets to this area, it's most likely gonna sell. Right? I don't know. I just don't know why. Like, I don't like US 30 right now, but it is gonna sell. So it's either gonna sell to our trend line and then buy back up, or it's gonna sell and then break our down here. And since US 30 has been in this channel for a while, it's either gonna, like I said, at this trend line, it'll keep selling, which probably will, because this channel, it seems to like to come to the bottom. But it hasn't broke it since May. So it hasn't broken this low. So we could get the rest of this. But those are just my two predictions about US 30. And like I said, so SPX, all those literally move the exact same way. I would suggest US 30 for people that have like minimum $300, and that's still pushing it for me trading US 30. Like, I really want you to have a 1K account. But and for my people, don't rush to trade US 30, right? Just like all the money that people can make, people don't tell you how much money they lose with it. So you could, if you want to like start off slow, start with SPX, start with NOD. They move the exact same way. But imagine you get good at this one trade for US 30, you could be done for the whole week, right? So, and this is one of those. So I kept my broken trend line on SPX and it sold, but it could just, and now it's buying. So like I said, this is why I'm just going to keep my caution. It's either going to come back to my trend line and buy up, or it could keep selling. All right. Thoughts on gold? I marked up gold earlier. How would you have caught the initial sell? See, like US 30, I'm not even going to lie to you. I don't know how I would have caught that one. Because it wasn't. Which one was it? Like, I knew the sell was gonna come because, like I said, it was at a resistance, but like it already broke this trend line, and maybe if I would have caught it here, then I would have held it. But personally, from like just from this and here, I would have missed the US 30 sell. Like, I would have missed it because one, this impulse already happened and it didn't correct to anything. Like, we had a small correction, but it wasn't enough. Like, sometimes guys, you're gonna miss the move. I'm not even gonna lie to you, because for me, US 30, this wasn't a deep enough retracement for me. I needed like a pullback to here before I would have re-entered, right? So this would have been one I missed. And then even for the buy, I would have missed that too, because it's just not as clean, you know. But I've traded US 30 before. I just like clean moves. So personally, this one's a cleaner move. We got our impulse, retraced it right back to our trend line. Impulse, retraced it right back to our trend line, keep going up. So those are the moves that I like. This one just was a little too messy for me. I thought that was 2 candles. I don't know what that means. It wasn't enough. Catch the move. Don't know what that means either. All right, so that was US 30. I'll just take some questions. Let's see. On the lower time frame, you will see the patterns that lead to the move. Yes, I mean, yeah, but this is still like, yeah. I mean, this is up to you. I haven't been trading US 30 lately. It's been more Forex or SPX. $6.6 trillion a day, guys. Don't fear missing out. Yeah. And guys, if you miss a move, it's okay. Oh, I did want to look at GBP real quick. And I'm going to pull up the world currency unit. Right? So this is a little hack for you guys also. So personally, I mark up the world currency units for each pair. So GBP, I mark up the WCU, Euro, I mark up WCU, all those. And this helps me figure out what I should be looking for the week. So GBP, I knew we were going to get this big buy. I've been waiting for this big buy for weeks, right? So like I said, I marked up the base pair of the GBP pairs. And I saw the sell was over, right? On our daily, it's in our support area. It was in our support area. It broke my downtrend, right? Broke it, retested it, came back up. And I've been waiting on, so low-key, I thought that the buy was going to happen when it hit my red box, right? But you see it broke just a little past it to come to our trend line, right? And then we got this big buy when it broke our trend line. And this is one of those, it can't happen any easier. So we'll pull up GU, right? So I got, I saw, again, the impulse, waited for the correction. It went right down to my 618 and then bought up. And you guys can see, look, I had alerts both ways. I had alerts when it hit my trend line, and then I had alerts for when it broke this trend line right here, right? So, but guess what, guys? I'm not even gonna lie to you. I had both these alerts set, and I still missed this. I still missed it. I'm upset. I had both these alerts, and I still missed it. So but I caught, so a little secret for you guys. So, I'm trying to get on IMO TV. I don't even know if I'm allowed to announce this, but I'm announcing it. I'm doing a 30-day trial for swipe trades, right? So I'm calling trades for swipe trades, and I sent out a buy stop at the beginning of the week for GBP CHF, and it never got activated because I think I called it maybe like right in here, right? So I called it, never got activated, and then what day did GBP buy? Either yesterday or today. Yesterday?
Yeah.
Yesterday, it got activated and it smashed all my TPs, right? So that's one of those that, like, again, I knew it was going to happen. I just didn't know when, but I just left my buy stop. I just let it happen, and I woke up and it had already smashed my TPs. So, like, that just goes, just trust yourself, guys. Trust yourself that you know the market and things like that. I will be on IMM TV, you're right. How can one get to buy the alert? So the alerts, you're just paying for the subscription. You'll pay the little monthly fee. All right, so I'll take questions now. I'm done on the charts. Do I have any questions?
Just the word of encouragement. Marios was on ForexNChill before he got his own IML TV channel, and John Phibb was on ForexNChill before he got on IML TV. So there you go.
Look, so maybe this ForexNChill is what's the key to IML TV, guys. But I just want to say thank you, Gigi, again for this opportunity, even letting me get on here. Guys, I've watched Gigi, like, she really grew her YouTube channel, and really she supports other people, right? So from the beginning, she always like, what do you need? Do you need help? Like, things like that. So you guys plug in with Gigi, get on her ForexNChill, and you guys can learn, guys. That's how I got good at this. I was on these sessions. I was taking notes. I was learning from different traders. And then I was just making them my own. And now I do like weekly webinars. You guys see my Telegram. Yeah, ForexNChill is producing goats.
Hey, did you drop your Telegram? You got some places you want them to follow you?
I did. Okay, so I'll drop it again. That is my. I keep messaging people privately. I'm so sorry.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, Darnell. What's up?
Let's go.
You got them residuals. Look.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so I'm dropping my Instagram in here. Neil the Goat. Facebook, which I'm not even gonna lie, I don't really use that much, but I am gonna start using it more, guys. It's just my name, Jamielle Lawson.
Okay, guys, for those of you starting out, I hope you listen. She's only 19 and she's already talking about making $1,000. You know, there's some of us on here that we're just starting out. Like I know I look 22, but I'm about to be 52. So just imagine where this is going to lead you younger people. So take this very serious. Jamielle, she was blessed. She was in a group we did free for the teens, you know, so not many of them took it as serious as she did, but the ones who did, you see how far they've come. You know, a lot of times people take free stuff for granted. So just like here on Forex'n'Chill, we've had some phenomenal 6- and 7-figure traders on. So don't take this free knowledge for granted. Make the best of it and go out there and create wealth for your family.
And yeah, guys, Gigi said it. Take this serious, right? We had, I don't even know, we had probably 50 plus kids, right, that were in our little Young Millionaires chat. And honestly, only about 4 to 5 of us still trade, still take it serious. And I don't say that to discourage you guys, but I say it as keep going, right? No, this is not for everybody, but for the people that stick through with it and finish. Like, the only way you can fail at this is if you give up, right? If you never give up, though, you're going to be good at this. You're going to make however much money you want in this. You're going to help as many people as you want. But it's getting to that point. I think about when I started all the time, right? When I started, no, I did not think I would be at this point. I was struggling just like a lot of you guys probably are. I was going through the getting wins, getting losses, going through that. Right, but I couldn't give up. I just had to keep going. And I knew I was always watching people that I wanted to be like, right? So I was watching Clint and I said, if he could do this, I can do this. But he always said this to me that always kept me from honestly not giving up. He said, what if he had given up, right? If he had given up, he would have never started the Young Millionaire Academy. I would have never met him. Right? I would have never got introduced to Forex. So in my mind, I always kept that in the back of my mind because it was like, if I give up, what if I had the chance to change somebody's life, but because I didn't keep going, I cut off somebody else's blessing, right? So you guys don't realize, guys, Forex is not just about me. It's for my family. It's for my friends. It's for everybody to put themselves in position to win. But for some of you guys, you have to be the one to help the other people. You got to be the one that has to go through the things for other people. And I learned that. This was not an easy ride for me. I promise. I know it looks like, oh, she did this, like she started a year ago and now she's getting all those results. Guys, I put in the work. I put in time. Gigi knows I was on these sessions. I reached out to Clip personally and I said, can you please mentor me? Like, I need help, right? Speak up for the things you want. Find the people that are doing well at this and reach out to them. That's what I love about this market, though. People genuinely want you to win. People I've never met before support me to no extent, right? And that's the genuine, we want to help people with this. That's the part that makes this so much deeper than the money, so much deeper than Forex. I've met lifelong friends. I've built lifelong relationships within these last couple months thanks to Forex, right? And this is a great networking. Yeah, guys, great community. Stick with it. That's the best advice I can give you with this. Never give up. Stick with it. Stick with it. People that are young, the potential is limitless with this. If you talk to anybody older that just got in, I bet they would tell you my biggest regret is that I didn't start earlier, right? I promise that's what they're going to say. They're never going to say, I wish I hadn't done this, none of those things. And the only people that failed at this were people that gave up. But you don't give up, you're going to get whatever results you want. And on that note, I'm going to pass it back to Gigi. Gigi, thank you so much. And I
All
hope
right,
you
y'all show some love in the chat for Miss Jamielle.
Thank you,
I'm subscribed to her Telegram, and I follow her trades. She dropped some really good charts and some trades. Look at all these signals, guys. There's money being made in here. So make sure you subscribe. Some of you were on a couple weeks ago when my boy Terrell, he was on here, and we joined his Telegram. He drops a lot of nuggets and videos. And some of you had asked about the mentorship. We do have a boot camp coming up. And I can tell you, doing one of these boot camps a year ago is what took me to the point to where I could leave my job. It's starting in November. There's information on my page. Another thing, just to give you guys encouragement, like this is my people that are in iMarkets Live. And I just want to show you, these are new traders. Just look at their profits. These are people who've been trading 6 months or less. And these are the type of trades they're having. And they all trade market structure. So this market structure really works. When you start seeing trades like this and people have been trading less than a year, this guy joined the end of January. Those are just the kind of results you could have. This person's been with me way less than a year, and look at the trade she got. And if you look, one thing in common, they were all taking the same trades because we mark up together, we drop charts in here together. So if you don't have a support group, do like I did and create a support group, okay? Get with people like-minded, and just build a team, build a family, and grow from there, because there's enough money for everybody to get money. When you see people come in and 3-4 months later, they're making over $1,000 a day, somebody's doing something right, okay? So does anybody have any questions for me?
Can we join your Discord group?
I do have a visitor section where we drop the Forex 101 and Forex 102, and we do have some free training in there. But then like some of the closed stuff, I'm with Stevenson Lindor and IML TV. Some of the stuff the general public can't access, but the general stuff they can.
If we're with
and it's simply because the people, it's how I keep a track of who's on my team, and who's active. And that's why I separate the two.
If we're part of IML, can we join the Stephen Lindor group? Or
yeah, you can get access to Forex 101 and 102, and we do have training in there with him. But like the general discussion is just the active people, because like I said, it's how I keep track of who's active and who's paid their monthly membership and stuff. And that's the only reason. And that's why I do the free Forex and Chill, because I want everybody to be able to get this. If you missed the one with Terrell, Jamielle will tell you he's one of the people responsible for the boot camps and the trainings that we took. It got us to the next level. You can go watch from last Friday night when he was on. But yeah, that's why I do the Forex and Chills, because I want people to be able to get as much free as they can, because not everybody, I don't believe in that, well, you're not on my team stuff, but I have to have a way to, this is where I was just explaining Rico's earlier. I have to have a way to differentiate my active people. I don't give them anything more than what we get here on Forex and Chill, but it's just I have to have a record, a way to keep track of who's active and who's not, if that makes sense.
Do you ever have a boot camp where it's a live lab, like hands-on lab?
Yes, I've done several in person. This one here that we're going to do, this is the details. We're actually going to trade. We're going to train 4 hours on Saturday, 4 on Sunday. We're going to trade live that Tuesday and Wednesday, and then we're going to come back that Saturday and do another 4 hours. And it's because we want people to see everything that we do. This is Terrell. He was 28 and made his first 6 figures in 7 months. He's 29 now and he's retired. But yeah, he made 6 figures in 7 months, and he's going to teach a very in-depth course. And he was working full-time when he did it, and he did it by swing trading 2 to 3 trades a week. He didn't do anything crazy like be on the charts all day, every day. He traded 3 days a week, 2 to 3 trades a week, and made 6 figures in 7 months while working full-time. 10 to 12-hour days, sometimes 6 days a week. So we teach risk management, we teach time management. If you are a person that is extremely busy, it's best for you to swing trade, so you don't have to babysit your trades, and we teach that. And compound, if you have more time on your hands and you can make a schedule where you get up and trade an hour or two London session, you can do that. But we cover all those kind of things, because becoming a profitable trader is more than just learning how to mark up a chart.
Right.
Marking up the chart is the easy part. The time management, the risk management, the mindset, not gambling, that's the important stuff that's going to make you the real money.
Right.
And we do teach an in-depth thing on Rinkos, because Rinkos is how we have our best days and our best weeks. Rinkos is how I have my 4-figure days back to back when I trade Rinkos. Because if you see on this GBP, JPY, you got a clear impulse, correction, continuation. Right.
And then what about people that still need a little bit more tech support?
The boot camp, we created a chat. This is for the people that's in the boot camp. They'll have continued support in there.
Okay.
So that group will be just the boot camp. And you see, I always have somewhere for recorded team trainings, where we jot charts. So I believe in continued follow-up support. You can't learn everything overnight.
No.
It's the market, just looking at the market, people are creatures of habit. Okay. So when people have habits and behaviors, those produce patterns. Well, we're the ones who control the market. So you see patterns in the market, just like Jamielle was saying, it does the same thing over and over. And when you learn this pair and its behaviors and its patterns, you'll learn to trade it. So we'll be teaching the patterns that will tell you whether it's a continuation pattern or correction pattern. Because there are patterns that the market produces that will say, continue to buy me or continue to sell me. And then there's patterns they'll produce that will say it's time to get out of the trade. I heard somebody asking that earlier. I know Jamielle didn't have time to go into everything that she teaches and everything that she knows. We do have limited time here, but I told some people I would cover Fibonacci. So let me cover that real quick. As you see right here, you had an impulse and a correction and a continuation, and I drew my Fibonacci on there. Let me change it to candles so it'll make more sense for you guys. All right.
Gigi, did you say they were gonna be teaching the Rinkos at the boot camp?
Oh yes.
Okay.
Trust me, Rinkos is very powerful.
Gigi, is it you and Terrell only that's teaching the boot camp?
Yes.
Okay, and that's November 12th, was it?
November 16th, 17th, and then that Tuesday and Wednesday, then the following Saturday. What we'll do is Saturday morning, here's the schedule. That Saturday we'll have 2 hours training, take a break, 2 more hours of training. Sunday, 2 hours of training, take a break, and then we're going to mark up all the charts for the week and tell you which trade setups that we're going to be looking for. Then Tuesday and Wednesday night, we're going to get up and trade live London session. We'll do training and trading simultaneously 2 nights in a row, because those are the nights he always trades to make his money, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Then Saturday, we'll do a 2-hour review, make sure everybody's good on everything, take a break, and then come and analyze again, so you'll have more markups for the following week. And if you follow him, you'll see, if you follow him on Instagram and me, you'll see people tagging us with the profits that they've made. Like one of his people, this was just the other day, he had only been out of his training for a week and he already made the money back. He made $3,000. That's a new trader that just came out of the training, and he's like, I made my money back. There's another guy, if you look at his page, he made 40K in a week. He's been trading with them. So
Gigi, we get with you on this, the boot camp?
Yes, you can pick me up on all the information's here, and you can message me or Terrell. And the reason I brought Terrell on is because he's very structured, and the way he teaches is simple, and he breaks it down to where if anybody can understand. He doesn't use any indicators or anything fancy. He just looks at the overall market. Like I said, you can go to ForexNChill from like 2 weeks ago when he was on, and people were begging him then, you know, when are you going to do another session? He's just really good. He's really good at this. It clicked for him.
Is this going to be online?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because of it being the holidays, I know a lot of people don't have time to travel. And my idea was, if you learn where you trade from, it'll be more comfortable. You were learning in your zone. You'll be learning from where you're actually going to be hitting the charts from every day. So to be sort of like on the job training, that's where you're going to be, like, instead of you flying here and sitting in a hotel room out of your environment, you're learning in your natural habitat or your natural environment.
And Gigi, this is going to be recorded in the event we miss a session due to
Everything
work.
is recorded. Everything we do is recorded, and it's yours to keep.
Okay. Okay.
You'll get your own
Sounds
personal
good.
copy. But
Thank you.
going back to what Jamielle was saying about the way the market moves, you see, you got an impulse, correction, continuation, correction, continuation. So it's easy on the daily to see exactly why the GBP pairs did what they did. They followed that pattern or that structure she was talking about. So if you want to start looking at additional ways to figure out when a pattern is over, in addition to boxing in the price, you got the Fibonacci, which is a tool, a retracement tool. Can you see it came back into our 50% area? I'm gonna zoom in on that so you can see it. Now, what do you notice it did this day and this day? It rejected off of this area 1, 2, 3 days, and then it took off. And like she pointed out on this wick right here, that wick is to the downside, right there. All right, so there's your pure price action. Impulse, correction. You got equal lows right here in a very important zone. Wicks to the downside, rejected the third day, it took off. Had you played that by pure market structure with no indicators, you could have got 700 pips in 2 days, okay? Now, the most important levels on a Fibonacci are your 38, your 50, and your 61.8. When you get a deeper retracement, a lot of times it'll come out to your 78. So this can be used on any time frame. It can be used on the monthly, weekly, daily, all the way down to the 5-minute, 15-minute for flags or corrections. So let's look at the 15-minute. And see. This was inspired by Brexit, so it really didn't follow all the rules. So I'm going to go back and see if I can find some patterns here. Somebody was asking about the patterns. You had a double top here. Oops, excuse me, that's not what I wanted to do. Let me double teach here. I'm going to do patterns and Fibonacci. Some people will see that as an M. If you want to, you can switch over to your line chart and see that. Okay. Me, the way I look at the market, my market would have been marked up. I knew I was at a resistance area. You got a rejection, a retest. They came here, cleared out the highs to try and trap buyers. This is a pattern that I always called, my own word is a hook, because it goes up like a fish hook, snags you in the mouth and catches you because you're buying, and then it drops down and clears you out of the market. Okay, so now we have our sales going on. Here's the impulse. I never look at a correction unless it breaks above the 38%. So let's pull this down here. It hit the 50, rejected, and came back down. All right, if it's moving choppy on a time frame, you can go to a higher time frame to use it, because you want good, clear patterns for your retracements and your measurements, okay? GBP pairs move very, very good. This has been in a constant downtrend, so it's going to be hard to find something good right now. Let's see. Here we go. Trying to remember where I demonstrated this last night. It's loading real slow. All right.
Gigi, I'm sorry. Do you put it from your low to high?
You go from swing low to swing high when you're in a buy. Okay. So this is your impulse, your correction. Look at how many times it rejected off your 61.8. And then your continuation came right up here to your 61.8 area. You see that? When it hits those key levels, you start looking to how price reacts at those key levels. And if it's getting there and using it for support, you can look to buy. Had you noticed this was an impulse, a correction, and you're getting your rejections right here, you could have caught 300 pips. And it just keeps doing that over and over again. Those who trade harmonic patterns, they're based off of Fibonacci. Okay. So now we got, this is our first swing low to swing high, and it comes here. Once this has been played out, this is our new swing low to swing high. Bring that over. Guess what we got? Triple rejection off the 61.8. It pushes up again. Okay, so we could have had another entry there. Went 243 pips. Okay, now this becomes our new low for our next Fibonacci. Now this time, because it came and broke out, it invalidated it. Yes, you could have gotten one little buy here, but actually, no, you couldn't have. This is probably a flag on a higher time frame. Just remember, when flags start out on the 15-minute, it'll be a small pullback, and then when it's due for an hour, it'll be a deeper pullback, and then when you get to these bigger, this is like our third pullback, it pulled down even deeper, and it swept out this low, and then it continued to the upside. So just know that when you see a pattern that doesn't make sense on one time frame, look to a higher time frame, because knowing where you are in the market makes sense. You have to know, like here on your weekly, you knew you were in a downtrend. When you go to your daily and you see these pullbacks, you have to know, even though on the daily it's going up, that it's going to be short-lived, because it's nothing more than a correction. Like this one happened here. It was short-lived, and then it came down again. But finally this time we got the break, retest, and the continuation. And as we said on that Fibonacci, swing low to swing high, it came to our 50, 3 days in a row, and then took off. So if you missed the impulse, you could have caught the correction based on the Fibonacci. So 3 ways you could have gotten in this. You could have gotten your impulse, your correction, it rejected, used it as support, and took off. As Jamielle was saying, you have impulsive moves. So this is an impulsive move. It's straight, pure price action to the upside. And then you have a corrective move. You could have drawn a trend line here and boxed in your flag. And when it broke, you could have caught it to the upside. Okay. And if you go over to Rinkos, which I like to use, you would see the same thing. Okay, you could have drawn a trend line on your Rinkos, and when it broke out, you look at it on the lower time frame, you see you got your impulse, correction, and it continued out of there. And you could have caught that breakout for 615 pips. So there's more than one way to enter. And yes, I can also use MACD is what I use if I look for indicators for confirmation. So if I look at my MACD, right here where it crossed to the upside is where we went into our uptrend. Okay, so what does the MACD do? It mirrors impulse, correction, and when it crossed back over, this is the third way I could have gotten in. And look what happened when it crossed back over at the same time. And you'll see that that would have happened probably on the 1 hour candles. So I use the MACD, like where she uses the RSI, the MACD is the one that I like to use. And that's user preference. Let's look at this on the 4 hour and look at it with that MACD. Again, you could have drawn your trend line. I keep losing track of my tools here. And there's where it broke out. And it also broke out of your trend line. When I crossed over here, I have my impulse. Right here, you'll see where it pulled back into my MACD was the beginning of my correction. And when it crossed back over my MACD, and no, I don't draw these on there. I'm just doing this to bring your attention to what's going on. Okay. So I got an impulse. It broke up across the MACD. My flag and my retest, it came under, and my continuation, it came back over. So if I want to know when to get out of that impulse, I watch my MACD. That makes sense to everybody? And if you look left, like she said, look left at those highlighted areas, you see where it stopped. It's not a coincidence that it stopped dead right here. It just came back to previous price action right here in the market. Okay. But that's how I use the fib. Like here, you would have an impulse, the correction here. Let me do this because I like to trade with nothing on my charts. If you look, it spiked and hit your 78. You had 3 rejection candles, and it came back down. Zoom in on that.
Okay, Gigi.
Yes.
I don't know. On your fib settings, is there like there's a place on the fib that is that one normally takes reverse if you like. Is yours reversed?
No. What do you mean reversed?
Like go to your
There
fib
is a
settings.
reversal on there, but I don't have mine reversed. This is your swing high, your swing low. It pulled back 78% of this impulse. Then it continued down.
Okay.
It's a retracement tool. I remember the first time that I used this, somebody asked the same thing as you, but they weren't using it for retracement. Yes, you can go down here and you can click reverse it around, but I'm using it. I am using it to track my pullback. How far am I pulling back? I had to argue with them about it and show them that I was right, but we had like a trading competition. I ended up winning, but anyway, that's why I got the name Chase Pips. I didn't want anybody to know I was a girl because I was going up against a bunch of guys. But I didn't want to hurt any feelings, but there you go. You see, from 0 to 100 is your impulse. Let's look at this on a line chart. From 0 to 100 was my impulse. Here is my corrective move. How much did I pull back? If I'm going backwards, then like what you're saying, let me show you.
Okay.
Like if I were going backwards from here to up here, it wouldn't make any sense because then I wouldn't know how far I had pulled back. It's going opposite. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I'm not pulling back 38%. I'm pulling back 78%. So just know from your impulse to the top, This should be 0, and this should be 100 because you're measuring how far you're pulling back. Am I pulling back 38, 50, 61? If I take out the 100, then I have a full reversal. As long as it doesn't take out, what was that pair you were showing, Jamielle, that pulled back real deep? It was one of the GBP pairs, GBP USD, and it pulled back real deep. She said she missed it. I missed it too, don't feel bad. Let's see. As long as it doesn't pull out your previous low, like here it is. This is your impulsive move. This is your corrective move. Even though it pulled back real deep, it didn't take out your previous swing low. So it's still a valid buy. So you pull this over and look at your 61.8. Look at everything that happened around your 61.8.
Wow.
Right.
So Gigi, you would have caught that.
Appreciate.
You would have caught that buy up.
Yes.
At that point, so you would have put in your stop loss and all that.
I went over to my Rincos. Look at that. Pure price action. You got an impulse, a correction, and even made what? A double bottom. Okay. Look at that. Made your little W that everybody likes.
The Rincos are more swing trading, right? Because it takes longer than the regular candles.
Rincos are pure price action. I mean, we scalp off the 1 minute Rincos. I taught it to the team one night, and one of the traders caught 91 pips on the 1 minute Rincos the next day. So Rincos is just pure price action. Right up here, this tells you each brick is worth 39 pips. It takes 39 pips to make this brick complete. Okay.
Gigi, I have one more question. Say you're marking up on the monthly, and you're saying, okay, that's 1,000 pips that's coming. How, with 1,000 pips, does that 1,000 pip include from the monthly all the way down to the 5 minute, the 1 minute?
Okay.
That's how you're catching the 1,000 pips versus just catching.
Let me go back over to my candles. And y'all have to forgive me. I've been sick and I've been on a, look at that.
Gigi.
Hold on just 1 second. Let me answer her question. This came into my weekly reversal zone. I bought it and caught it here, but I missed it this last time. I'm mad that I did because this is so plain. Impulse, correction, continuation. So plain. And it came into a weekly reversal zone. So if we're looking at a weekly reversal zone, we want to take it from the swing low of the weekly back to the swing high. This would be my take profit area. You see where I have these?
Yes.
Okay. So
Gigi, could you do the fibs like right now that the market is closed? How would you put it?
it's always the same, swing high to swing low and swing low to swing high. Like here, if I did swing low to swing high and pulled it over, it came right below the 61.8, but you got an equal low right here. You'll probably see more price action on the daily, but right there, it came to this. Let's see what it did on the daily, because I mark up on the weekly, but I don't trade off the weekly. Look at that. What did I tell you? So that would have been your indication to get back in for the buy. It pulled back to a key zone. You kept getting rejections, and then it took off. See, this was my initial impulse. This was my correction. Now I got a continuation. Where did it bring it? Right back here to the exact pip almost.
Gigi. How do you define a high probability trade?
How do I do what?
How do you define a high probability trade?
High probability trade means the one that's making the most sense. Like Jamielle was saying with US 30, it was choppy and not making sense to her, so she stayed out of it. Like here, I got a high probability trade here, okay? Number one, I'm in a weekly reversal zone, okay? Number two, even though I'm down trend, this is a definite downtrend, yes? But after every impulse, what do I need?
You need a correction.
Right. So I got my impulse here. I am in a reversal zone. Got an impulse here, a correction. This could bring me back up to here. Okay.
Can you show how you counted the pips up at the top? Like which one did you hover over that was telling you how much each candlestick was worth?
Oh, that was Renko's. But if you hover over each candle, it should give you the daily high and close. But you can use the ruler and just. That one candle yesterday moved 303 pips. Well,
Is there a way?
that's the weekly candle. I lied. Yesterday, here's what this moved yesterday. But you see my confirmations, I was coming into, the way I knew this was a high probability trade. Number one, I'm coming into a strong reversal zone. What happened the last time this was here? 2,100 pips, 2,200 pips, okay? So it's very strong. Anything that has the power to move something 2,200 pips is very strong, okay? Not only that, on my lower time frame, I have what I know as a reversal pattern. This is a descending channel. This is a reversal pattern all day long. Okay, so that's two confirmations. I got an impulse and a correction. That's three confirmations. So even if I just caught this buy, I got 280 pips. And my Fibonacci, I got my 61.8. So you need to have multiple confirmations before taking a trade. And so that was enough for me to know that that was getting ready to buy. And I know right here, it came up to this swing high, because swing highs and swing lows are nothing but U-turns in the market. Okay. Here's a U-turn, here's a U-turn, here's a U-turn. This right here, it hasn't turned yet. I need to see what happens next. But I can already see I got, here's a low, a high, and what did I get? A lower low. So if I get a higher high, I can ride this all the way back up. This would be my next area. Those lower lows and higher highs and all that. And you see, I already had this candle marked up, and I had this zone marked up. I could see it come into there. So there's my confirmations that I could probably see this go higher. I have my reversal, impulse, correction, continuation. I got a higher low. Have I closed out these yet? No. I want to see it trade above these. It could still, at this point, hit this and reject, because look at what we got going on here. Okay, it hasn't broken out of this area yet. Another thing I got going on, what did that create? It gave me that third leg of that W. All right. So once you start learning market structure, you'll see multiple reasons to take a trade. All right, anything else? Is everybody clear on the Fibonacci? I'm sorry.
How would you know if it broke through the area? Like, aren't there fake outs?
That's what this wick was. If it doesn't close and hold,
so you will wait.
It doesn't count
for an hourly close.
You see here. Let me do something. I'm gonna show you a little trick. If you hold down Shift, it will draw a perfect trend line. You see where it failed to break above that and close?
Yeah.
So it's still using this as resistance. This right here, they failed to meet and satisfy the buyers that were trying to buy it higher. They didn't have enough liquidity in here to keep pushing it higher. Okay.
Are you looking for like a daily close or longer?
This right here is a daily close, yes. And if you look at the week, you can see this closed a little bit higher. There's still a gap in there. So it failed to trade higher. So what could we see? We could see it come back and then continue up. All right, that makes sense.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so even though it didn't make a new swing high, you would still be looking for a Fibonacci retracement and then a continuation still to the upside, even though it failed to break the high the first time?
Yes.
Okay.
Gigi, could you go down to 1 hour to see what's it rejecting now? Okay. Okay. Okay.
And even here, you can take this. Let's see. Still hadn't taken it out.
Okay.
This right here is a reversal pattern. When you have a gap on Sunday that opens to the downside, that is an impulsive candle. It just couldn't fill it because the market, the broker was closed, so it couldn't paint it on there. So this was a bullish candle. This right here, I said bullish, I'm sorry, bearish. That's all that was. The market was just closed, so it couldn't paint you the pretty picture. All right. See that? That's all that was. So you had an ascending channel, which is a reversal pattern, impulse, correction, continuation, correction, continuation, correction, continuation, a bigger correction, continuation, reversal pattern. That's all that market did. You had multiple entries on this 1 hour time frame. And it fell, if you had caught this up here, when it rejected again, 255 pips. All right, any other questions? Oh, one other thing, let me bring your attention to this. See this wick?
Yeah.
See all these equal lows it was making?
Yeah. Yeah.
They made a sweep on the market to trap people
Stop losses. Yeah.
and then took off. Whenever you see an area of equal lows or equal highs, just be careful of the sweeps. That's why a lot of times it's safer to wait for the impulse, correction, and then catch the continuation. Okay.
So right after you're done selling from that under sweep, you want to get out of the market right away, correct?
Whenever I saw this type of pattern, I want to get out. It's pulling down into a previous low. This is a reversal pattern. If you go to Google, go to images, there it is right there, right in your face. Boom. All right. Take some index cards, draw these out. You got continuation patterns and you got reversal patterns. These will save your account a lot of times. If you watch iMarkets Live, Marios on Sundays, he covers these in depth. And he's done a few sessions on Forex'n'Chill where he covers them in depth. Okay. But here's a lot of continuation patterns. If you learn these patterns, it will up your game in the market. Okay. There's a reversal pattern right there. A flag always has to have a flag pole. Okay, look. What happened right here? Does this look familiar to this? You see these two?
Reverse, is that?
You see this right here? Look at that, and look at this. Look at that, and look at this.
Mm-hmm.
What happened? When the last time this happened, it gave us 400 pips.
Okay.
Okay.
So
And it was coming into my weekly zone.
So it's getting ready for a buy.
Right.
Okay.
Reversal. So if it's going down, here's the way you can gauge it. Like a flag has a flagpole. Okay. For a pattern to go sideways, you're typically going to get a continuation to the upside. That's usually a 38.2. When you see these sideways, you usually get a 38.2 on your fib. Okay. When you get these, you usually get 50 to 61.8. It's going to go up. Okay. Where you need to get out is if you see a flagpole and the flag is going in the same direction as the pole. You can expect this. Now, sometimes it'll come just back down to the base of the impulse and create what's called an expanding flag, and then it will continue back to the upside. But when you see, anytime you see this beginning flag turning the opposite, it's going the exact same direction as your impulse, it's time to close. It'll usually pull up into your zone and then do it. And it usually does it at reversal zones. If I can find some more.
Question: if it was a downtrend and then like it pulls back but it pulls up, are we expecting the trend to then reverse up?
Like right here. That's what it did both times.
Well, no, like that was a drop and then it continued to drop. I'm talking like it dropped and then from there it starts trending up just a little.
This
Like
is not a continue the drop. This is a corrective pattern. Here's your impulse. Remember, an impulse does not make a pattern. Here's an impulse. Here's an impulse. Here's an impulse. These right here, these are patterns. This is a pattern.
could we look at Bitcoin currently? Because that's where my confusion is.
I haven't marked this up lately. Let's see. But look, there was that pattern. Okay, you had your impulsive move, your corrective pattern. Your impulsive move, your corrective pattern. Your impulsive move, your corrective pattern. Okay, this turned into an expanding flag. It's moving in a corrective pattern to the downside, so you could see it break up.
Go back up. Descending channel.
All right.
Okay.
And you really, on the lower time frame, you got an impulse and a correction. But the thing about these channels, You want to buy at the bottom or wait till the breakout. Right now, you don't have any aggressive movement. I wouldn't buy it now. I would wait and let it come back down. I would either wait and let it come back down and buy from here, or wait until you get a breakout and then continue.
What would be a confirmation for a breakout?
An impulse. Like right here. Let me take everything off here that I just did.
So a strong bullish candle.
Right, I'm about to say it's the small time frame that's killing me because I look at it off of like the 4 hour and it doesn't look that serious.
So once you learn to know market structure, Terrell and I both will enter off the 1 minute to catch these trades to try and get a less than 10 pip stop loss. It's you know, our team will tell you we'll take a 10, 15 pip stop loss and catch 200-300 pips because you want minimal risk. Okay.
Will entry be looked at in the bootcamp for entries and stuff like that in the bootcamp?
Yes. Fibonacci's, Renko's, entries, trade management. Everything happens on a lower time frame. Remember, here we got these equal lows. What did it do? It did a sweep and then took off. Look what it's doing here. It looks like it's doing another sweep. See, there's so many ways you can look at this. If I took off this and this, now I got that sweep that happened. Okay. So I would still wait for something more aggressive since it moves so volatile. Just let it finish doing what it's going to do.
Did you say?
So when you look at that area where it broke out, but then it immediately went down, how do you avoid being caught up in that fake out?
You can't. One thing I can tell you, again, I mean, there's nothing we can do to control the market. We can only control our risk. Look what it did. It swept these equal highs. It knew that there were people had buy stops here. So it swept that liquidity, took their money, and dropped it back down. But it's just going to go back up probably. So that was because they know people have pending orders. There are a lot of people who place pending orders. And pending orders are usually created above equal highs and equal lows. So that's why you'll get these stops there a lot. That's why it's safer. Like this happened on the 2 hour. Let's see, that is September 30th. Let's go to the 15 minute. Another trick, hit go to, and you can type in the date.
Do you use pending orders or you typically avoid them?
I typically avoid them. Now, once it swept this, what did I start getting? Well, it's that. I got an engulfing candle, yes. It engulfed the previous candle. Gave me impulse correction, continuation correction, continuation correction. So look where I could have bought in. When you see it sweep that, start looking for your entry down here. See, I teach the sauce after all the good people get out. See, we've had about 80 people got off, so that's why y'all getting the good stuff because y'all stayed. I do it every time. But you see how it did that?
What do you mean by sweep? I'm sorry. What do you mean by sweep?
Remember earlier when we covered how it goes under here and then takes off?
They're basically looking for a turn, GG.
Say that again?
You're basically looking for it to turn to go back in.
It's trying to kick people out of the market. That's their job. I mean, and they're not looking for you or me because we don't have enough money to matter, but there are people who are dealing in millions of dollars who have already bought in right here because they're expecting it to go up. So what do they want to do? They want to come take their money and then shoot it up. They also know there's people waiting. Oh, it's going to break my support. I'm going to sell, right? That's what pending orders do. People wait for it to break this. Oh, if it breaks below this, I'm going to sell. Oh, if it bounces off this, I'm going to buy. So people put pending orders all the time. And that's how they lose the money. That's why it's better to put an alert for when it breaks out. They can't take your money if all you have is an alert.
I feel like I went wrong then because like I marked this up off the month to week to day and I saw the larger downtrend, but like it's not near breaking my trend line as of yet.
Yeah.
Like if you look at it on the
It's
4
in a
hour,
larger downtrend, but when you look left, what happened there the last time? At this zone. Always look left at what did price do the last time it was there. You had an impulse, a correction. It bounced off this 1, 2, 3, 4 days and then went up. Where are we now? The exact same spot. I had this line on here from weeks ago. I haven't even traded this in a while. So this line here was already there, but I know I put somebody had asked me, I guess it was on a Forex and Chill, or maybe one of our team sessions, somebody must have asked me to mark it up. And I told them I saw this descending channel because that's the last thing I had on there. This right here is the last thing I had on this pair. And I said, I'm expecting it to buy because it's giving me a reversal pattern into a weekly reversal channel. It would take a lot for it now to come break this.
and just so I make sure I understand, when you said when we have the candlesticks like in one area, like multiple candlesticks in the area, you can expect price to go in the opposite direction, or
So if you, okay, which we are, you are a retail trader. I got impulse, correction, continuation, correction, continuation. All right. I got there, then I started selling off. So now I'm sitting here as a retail trader. What am I probably looking to do when this market pulls back?
oh,
Buy it up.
Right. So if I want to take your money, why don't I come right below it? What's your average pip that people take for a stop loss?
30 pips.
30.
Yeah. So why don't I run on this, get that, and then come back up here. Same thing here. I'm gonna get back up here. Now I got people. They're sitting here. What are they looking for?
Sell off.
Right. But I also have people that they're like, if it breaks this, I can expect it to what?
Buy it.
But they're going to have pending orders sitting up there. So why don't I do that? So now my people who were selling, I took their stop loss. My people who were buying, I activated their trades, and then I bring it back down.
So I'm correct in thinking the market will drop just a little bit more before it goes back up, like how you said it'll hook the people who have their stop loss down there.
Let's look at it on a lower time frame.
Because like it's down.
We'll look at it. Let's see. It's trying. Okay, now let's look at it this way. All right. We got equal lows, equal lows. What just happened here?
It was just a test. Like it broke it to see if they could push it down, but it didn't.
All right, so this could be our breakup. And I'm not saying buy it, but look what it did.
Right. I was gonna wait for it to come down one more time because like I'm in profit regardless. And then I was gonna enter for the buy.
So because of this, I would wait. If it comes back down here, buy. If not, if it breaks out this time, wait for a break and a retest and get in.
You dropped all the sauce. I needed this because like Bitcoin had me stressed.
That's what we're here for. And it took losing some trades to learn it. And that's, you know.
Well, I'm trading like Wyckoff logic. Earlier when I had set it to Jamielle, she thought I meant like literally trading wicks, and like on the wick off logic, it
This
has like,
plays into it. Yeah.
yeah, like that test, retest, blah, 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 and
Yep.
then I'm looking to buy up from there.
Right. And you're also, if you look at your weekly, you're in that zone to where it bought off the last time. All right, let's see what Fibonacci says.
Oh, we hit 61.8. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there we go. 61.8 on the fib. So you got impulse, correction. You get some continuation.
Thank you. I know I had like back-to-back questions. Thank you.
Oh, no worries, no worries. Anybody else got any questions?
Yes, I would like to review this. Will this also be posted on your YouTube channel as well?
You can drop $5 in the chat right now. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, it'll be on YouTube.
I got you with the $5. I appreciate it because this is definitely like
Somebody passed the church plate.
Hey.
Grant, when he has time, he'll upload it. He's recording.
Okay. All right. Is there like, can I like expect
Give
to
Grant a shout out
by next week, midweek?
He usually does it on Saturday if he has time.
Oh, okay, even better. Okay, great.
That last flag that you
Appreciate
drew on Bitcoin, sorry, all the way to the right, was the flag not pointing the same direction as the pole?
Talking about this one here?
No, the one before up top when you drew the flag up there, right there.
This right here?
No, up top. Yeah, that one. Yeah. No, not that pole. The other pole, the down pole on the other side of that.
Yes. Now, if you look at this on a higher time frame,
okay.
That's why, like I said, you have to look at it on every time frame.
Gotcha.
Got this. Sometimes you'll have fake outs, and patterns will change. Like I was saying, you can have an impulse, a correction going on, and this might turn and drop like this, come back to a previous impulsive area, and then take up. And you'll just learn that by constantly drawing patterns. If I see one, I'll mark it. And learning these patterns takes a lot of back testing and a lot of scrolling back. So you're not always going to find the perfect
where you could just
pattern.
learn about flags?
Say that again.
Is there a section on IML where you can learn about flags and
Watch Mario's.
No, on IML.
Yeah, he's on IML.
Oh.
Let's see, is it
I have a quick question whenever you have a chance.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me sneak into my grandson's IML. It's changed so much. Marios. He trades and teaches the patterns. Sundays he teaches in English. I'm just going to mute him and scroll through. You see? There you go, patterns. Now,
focus on the safe.
He will give a lot of setups for the week.
Okay.
There you go. You see
Very
some
simple.
patterns. So if you want to get in-depth knowledge of patterns, go in here and you
Guys,
can ask
if
them
we have a
questions.
Brexit,
All right,
also
there you go. You see all those patterns? See how that one expanded and it bought from the bottom, came back down, went again, it hit support, it hit resistance, then the market fell back off, came back into a buy zone and pushed back up. And that's basically what Bitcoin is doing, something like that. You see here where this one pushed up, that dropped down, this previous zone right here. Ironic we stopped on this because that's about what Bitcoin did, but then it started pushing back up. You see that? So Marios is a good person to watch. Marios and Terrell were both taught by Lindor, and they're good friends and good trading partners. But you can learn these patterns, and it'll help you a lot.
Hey, Gigi, what channel is John Fib going to be on? Is he going to be on with someone else?
He's on with Rock Coomer. He doesn't have his own channel yet, but he's on with Rock Coomer, ROKKUMER. So
thank you.
I'll show you Rock. So John Fib was probably on there this morning with him right here. So you probably saw John's probably on this session right here teaching. But they teach about those equal lows and equal highs, and see.
So
they have Matt on
basically
here.
What we're going to do is compare the highs and lows.
Yep, that's John talking. So John's on the last session there. All right.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure. I
Is
have no
a
life. I mean, it's like Friday night, 12:30 in the morning. Ask away.
is a impulse move a move against the overall trend of the market? Is that what you mean?
An impulse move is telling you what the market is attempting to do. For it to continue in the direction of the impulsive move, you need a corrective pattern behind it. Okay. Let me find something and mark it up from scratch, because you can be on a weekly downtrend and the daily goes impulse, correction, continuation, correction, continuation, and this could be an impulse, but it hits that resistance and then comes back all the way back down. So that's why I said you have to know where you are on each time frame. So I could have caught 500 or 600 pips here, because this is probably like a 1,200, 1,500 pip to the downside. But each one of my daily buys are going to be short-lived, okay? And even though I'll get a couple hundred pips, I need to keep in mind that my weekly overrules my daily, and 9 out of 10, that weekly is going to leave a supply zone and trade all the way back to a demand zone. And that's why on the Bitcoin, I had that proposed to go up, and also on the Euro-JPY, because on the higher time frame, it had hit an exhaustive zone. It's like.
So my question would definitely be, for me being brand new and wanting to open up a live account on a small income with like $25 if I want to throw that in, what would be the best advised trade pair to go into?
Me, if I were new and all I wanted to invest was $25, I would stay in demo and perfect all this in demo and save up money and go with the bigger live account. Small accounts are easy to blow.
Okay. Because I'm thinking like, trading like 10 cents, that's cool and all, but I'm not sure if that like would definitely blow easily just with one.
I know like Stevenson Lindor has a small account. He started with $50 and he's up to over 1,000, just to show people that you can do it on the team. And he started trading at like 0.01 and 0.02. So it can be done. But if you focus on the skill set, the money is going to come. If you perfect,
because
if you perfect to where you can get in the market on a trade and catch 25 pips every single time, it's not going to be every single time. Of course, you're going to have losses. But if you can 7 out of 10 or even 6 out of 10 times jump in, get your pips and get out, it's going to be easier for you to flip an account once you go live. I used to call it feeding the beast. I would put in a little bit of money, blow it, put in more, and blow it again. Like it's time to feed the beast. And then I sat myself down, got mentorship, and focused more on the skill set and not the money. See, that's where a lot of us, and it's human nature. We see other people making 6-7 figures. We see other people having $500 weeks, or like we just saw somebody have a $40,000 week. So we know that money's there and that it's possible, And we're from a microwave society where we want everything now, but I can tell you slowing down and being consistent will make you money. It might take you 6 months to get there, but you will have not blown accounts. And I would rather trade and demo for a few months, and then when I go live, flip that money fast than to start now and, you know, get frustrated. You'll see other people making more money. Focus on the pips. Like if you start a $25 account, go for 20 to 25 pips on each move and compound it. Instead of saying, well, I want to make $5, say I want to make 20 pips. And then when you get in the market and you see a move, and this is another thing that messes traders up, and I'm speaking from experience. Like I was talking about those zones. If you see this take off and pull back and continue and pull back and continue, if you know that it's headed here, don't just take your money here and walk away. Focus on the skill set and the structure of the market, and you'll be able to make money. Or like Jamielle said, you can catch this impulse, get out, impulse, get out, impulse, and then close at the next level of resistance. So, but you're going to have to trade according to your personality. Some people are better swing traders, some people are better scalpers, and you're also going to have to trade according to your schedule. If you can't sit here and look at the trade all the time, then you need to trade off of a higher time frame and catch the big swings. Like here, if I had known looking left, this is an area where I expected it to reverse, and I had caught down here, then I would have held it to here instead of, you know, and look, the first time it took off, I would have gotten 356 pips that week. And as opposed to coming in every day and trying to get 50 pips off of that, just put in that one trade and get the whole 356. That makes sense?
Yes, it definitely does. Because I was just thinking, like, okay, if I were to like start off small with a small account, people have told me, okay, you're not going to see the bigger results like most people do, because I do enter with a higher amount of at least 100.
And remember, if you focus on the pips, like I can catch 100 pips and end up with $100, where my friend could catch 100 pips and end up with $1,000. It's going to go in your lot size. So don't look at the money that you make. Look at the move that you caught.
Yeah, I've definitely learned my lesson with the demo. With lot sizes, controlling that as part of risk management, but more so what you're speaking to in terms of, you know, calculating the pips, in terms of like impulse and correction. That's definitely something I want to pay attention to. And yes, I am anxious, but I do want to start seeing, you know, results as I do learn. I want to also be able to earn, you know.
Download the Steno app on your phone, and it will calculate what lot size you should use for your account size, your risk management, and what your stop loss is going to be. It will give you the account. It will give you the lot size to keep from blowing your account.
Okay, I definitely will do that now.
All right.
What was the next question? Okay, so I did get started with the process of starting a live account. However, the farthest I got with it was my upline just recommended I download a Coinbase app. I've done that. I've transferred $25 into the Bitcoin, selected that, went through that process, sent that $25 Bitcoin to the Hugo's Way account. However, the only thing I got furthest from that was that it was approved, but I don't know how to transfer it into my
If it approved, it probably went into your wallet, and then you have to transfer it from your wallet to your trading account.
Okay.
All brokers have a wallet, and then you have an actual trading account. So you could put like $500 in your wallet and only move 100 to your trading account, or just say you put $100 in and you flip it to $200. You want to take $100 and stick it over your wallet because now you're trading risk free. Anything you start with, if you start with $500 and you flip it to 1,000, automatically take that 500, put it aside. So now anything you lose, you haven't lost, and anything you make is pure profit.
I have a question. As far as like, you say you trade with the Fibonacci levels. So you were saying that you don't trade with pending orders. So if you're looking at a retracement going back to like the 618, when would you like enter? That's the first question. And then the second question is, what's the furthest retracement level that you will feel comfortable taking a trade for a continuation?
Okay. For Fibonacci, all I really do is take this and pull it out, and I'll see what zones it projects to.
Mm-hmm.
And if I want to, I can put an alert on those zones, like right here. If I look left, I see, look at all this right here at the 61.8 level. So I could put me a line here, or I could put an alert 10 pips before this price. Or I could put an alert for each level. And then I'm gonna take my Fibonacci off because I don't like a lot on my charts. I like a very minimalistic chart. All this stuff here is usually stuff I give people for when people ask me questions. I usually don't have this. I was just testing something with line charts today with these levels. So I'm always testing stuff. But you see here, this one, it retested, hit it, and then took off. It's like looking for multiple entries. But yeah, I'll draw the Fibonacci, set an alert for some of those levels. And then what else did you ask me?
So after you get the alert, that's when you would go in and market execute, or you would just go in and kind of...
I would look to see if it was making a pattern. Just say if my alert went off here at this price. I'm going to look and see if I got an impulse. And you see, I got a correction. It retested. There's another small impulse correction, but we usually get in. I would have gotten in after I saw that impulse correction right there. And that's all the confirmation I would have needed to get in for that next move to the upside. I just start looking at my patterns and see if my pattern is telling me it's time to get in, because the market paints the pattern.
Okay, I got you. And my second question was, well, I guess that makes sense. Well, what was the furthest or the deepest retracement that you feel comfortable taking a continuation trade? Like, you know, the 0.5618 is like where it usually goes back to, but would you take a trade that retraces all the way to the 786 or even further?
Yep, I sure would. As long as it hasn't taken out my previous swing low, and if I'm getting rejections here and I see a pattern telling me, we had one earlier that pulled back to the 78.6. Trying to remember which one it was. Can't remember what it was.
Could you mention one more time what the guy's name was that gives the training on starting the $50 account or building from that?
Oh, that's Steven Salendor. He's an educator on iMarkets Live on channel 12. He is a 7-figure trader, but he teaches Rinkos and he teaches market structure. You'll see, like here, you see he's drawing out the flag patterns. Again, like I said, he's the one taught Marios. He taught Terrell. He taught me. He's if you look at my team group, I got signals by Lindor. He drops the signals. So that's why everybody on the team called that GJ. And it played out. Everybody made a lot of money off that the other day. One lady made like $1,300 on it. So that's why it pays to surround yourself. Yeah, this lady made $1,600 there, $180 there. Surround yourself with people who are trading the way that you trade. And when the reason I started, and somebody else make money off of it. The reason I started ForexNChill is because I wanted to surround myself with like-minded traders who were doing exactly what I was doing. Me being a market structure trader, I don't need to be marking up charts with somebody who trades something completely different. Okay. So that's why I follow him, because he teaches and trades what I want to learn and what works for me. This is what works for me. I don't knock anybody's trading style, because if it's making them money, like I see people knocking trend lines, but I got people on my team making $1,500, $3,000 a day using trend lines, so they can knock it all they want.
Yeah, I would definitely be using trend lines for sure. The Fibonacci effect, definitely, I feel like I can definitely get a good grasp on that and master that. It's just a matter of, looking at the trends for each currency pair, for which I have no clue as far as like what will be the best for me in terms of small accounts, of course.
Look at that, 78.6, and this is that same pattern that GBP pair had made before it took off, and that's on a monthly. So yeah, you trade. Don't let anybody get into your mind or your mindset about what you do. If it works for you and it's making you money and you can do it consistently over and over again, then you stick with it. You make your money, because at the end of the day, this is your money. This is your skill set. Nobody can trade it for you. Nobody can learn it for you.
Gigi, can you take a look at Eurocard?
Give me just 1 second. Let me mark this back up. See, this has been moving correctively. Everybody's been waiting for it to break out, but Brexit really is killing this pair right now. That's why I'm not even trading Euro USD. It's just in that little corrective channel. And if you're going to trade it, buy every time it hits the bottom and get you a good 100 pips. There's 162 there. That's all it's doing. Which pair did you say?
Eurocard.
All right, it's at a weekly reversal zone. If you drag this over, you'll see right there. It's at a weekly reversal zone. All right, the last time it was here, impulse, correction, continuation, correction, continuation. Now it's traded right back down to it. The euro isn't very strong right now. The only reason EJ went up is because JPY was weak. So right here you see you had a reversal pattern. It pushed up, but you see how much distance was between this and that weekly support? Had 126 pips left. So all it did was bring it right back down. And now it's trying to reverse. But on the daily, it didn't take out the previous swing highs. It actually did this. So I would watch it to see if I get another breakout here. I wouldn't trade it until I see what it's going to do at the bottom. Yep. Let's see on the 4 hour. Whenever the market is going side to side, I don't use trend lines. I use rectangles to box in the channel, because now I'm going to look to buy it whenever it comes down here low. If you see it broke this, it did its sweep. What do we have? Impulse, correction, continuation, correction, retested it, made a beautiful M, sold back off. And M is just a double top. It's a reversal pattern. So if you had that first impulse correction, you could have gotten 230 pips. You can also go in here and draw a fib from your swing high, low to your swing high. It went right below your 61.8, almost touched your 78 dead on. You can look at it. Like I said, if it doesn't make sense on one time frame, look at it on another. There it is. All right. Anybody else?
Can you explain where you stopped the fib? I see the swing low, but I didn't understand why you stopped it at where you stopped on the swing high.
Why is this not playing out? There we go. All right.
Oh,
This
never mind.
was my swing
I
low.
see. I thought it was somewhere else. I see it now. Never mind. Sorry.
And then this happened, and that happened. And you could have, when you had your fib, you could also have drawn your trend line here for your flag. So if you go over to Renko's also on 15-minute, probably looks better on a 5-minute on this one. Oh, my grandchildren. Hi, beautiful. I have a 3-year-old FaceTiming me, but they're 3 hours behind there. So, hey, I'm gonna call you guys right back. We're on ForexNChill. Love you. I love you. All right, bye. Bye. So yeah, that would have been your entry to get in and catch that move. Just remember, if you are trying to trade from zone to zone, to let it make that initial breakout on a lower time frame. So if you had wanted to catch this move here, you got a double top happened. You already had an impulse, a correction. Remember, I told you it can be making a flag and then it can expand. It didn't take that out, and then it dropped. So look at it on a 15-minute and see what else we would have seen. There you go. And it fell. You could have caught the sell out of there. But now that it fell, it's probably going to fall back down near the bottom. Fell 131 pips. At the same time here. Same thing.
Please, can you go back to the 4-hour time? There's something I want to ask you.
4 hour? Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm looking at it on my chart here. What I'm looking at an expanding flag right after the impulse.
This one here?
No, the one up, the one on top.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm looking at it as an expanding flag. The overall move up there. I was looking at it as an expanding flag. That's why I said I should check on it.
Hold on 1 second. I think this could still come back down some more. Right there. Usually it comes back down to a previous, and if you look at the examples that they show, like it usually comes down, it opens its mouth wide. Let's see if you see it. It usually comes way down near, it usually gets you like a 61.8 if it's going to do that. So let's see. This is the base. This is the here. So we come back down a little bit more. We'll see what it does. But remember this right here. So we got to get through this. All right, it broke out, it failed, it came back, it made a lower low. See right here, this closed lower than this previous. So we got a lower low, we need a higher low. So I would want to see it come up and take that out. And whenever you're marking up your charts, talk to yourself like that. So it will make sense, play it out in your head. Could see it do one more and then go up. We'll see where it could drop all the way back down. But because of where it is, you don't want to get into it until it decides. Remember, if this trade doesn't look tradable, if it doesn't look tradable, find something else. Set an alert and walk away. Because if you look at it on the weekly, yes, it pushed up here the last time, but look where your actual low could come to. It could come to here. It could come to here. See what it looks like on the monthly. On the monthly, it's still falling really, really short on the monthly. On the weekly, you don't have a higher high yet. And look at how much farther it could fall. So, yeah, I would wait until it decided what it was going to do. I wouldn't try. The only way I would try to buy this is if it fell correctively. If it does this, corrects, then you're going to see it come back down. Okay? So, if you see something like impulse, correction, you're going to get a continuation. Then you're going to start looking for it again here. The most important part of this trade is going to be what happens here. Okay? So, if you get a correction, be prepared for a continuation. All right, but if it comes down correctively, be prepared for an aggressive break to the upside. That makes sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Thank you very much.
See the way it comes down correctively here? If it comes down like that, then you will see it break up. But if it comes down like this, correction up, then you're going to get another drop. All right. Anybody else before we call it a night?
I don't know if you guys have went over this, but CHF, JPY, can we look at that one?
Hey, are you there, Grant?
Y'all already looked at that one?
No, that's one of those that Linda was like, who the hell trades that pair? Y'all see that? And what it caused? I just want you to look at how important these patterns are. That caused the 1,200 pip drop. So y'all better pay attention to these patterns. Oh, no, it dropped more than that. Look at this. Boom. Dropped 1,300 pips. So those patterns are money makers. Oh, it dropped farther than that. It dropped 1,700 pips. All from one pattern, guys. See how important these patterns are?
Yes.
Guess what? If we drag this out, guess where the pattern happened at?
At the supply.
Supply zone.
It's not magic, it's market structure. All right. The pair that I probably, oh, I marked it up one day. Oh my God. I don't know, I must have been bored. Let's see. Let's see how much this thing moves in a day. Let's see. Uh-oh, we got some pips going on here. Let's see. Woo, 81. Girl, 80 pips. Let me stop messing with you. Linda will be like, who moves that? Like, look at this on the monthly. Look at that little monthly candle. Let's see how many pips it's moved this whole month. 166 pips in a month, girl. You ain't gonna get rich trading this pair. You'd be like, how many pips you catch today? Oh, I'm swing trading. I caught 10 pips.
Okay.
Oh, we be clowning on here at night, so
It's okay, I understand.
when it starts getting after midnight, we might say anything.
And what's the pip value?
Oh Lord. You know, you can actually look that up and see how much it pays per pair per pip, because some of them's only 60 cents a pip.
Wow.
Gosh, it's on it's actually
If you go to my FX book,
yeah, it's on there. I've
that
put
looks
it
on
up.
there as
Let's see.
well.
Somewhere. Let me type that in. There it is. I think. No, that's not it. That's not the one I'm looking for. There's one that tells you exactly.
Yeah, but if you put a 1 in the trade size and then hit calculate, it'll show you all of them.
Yeah, this one actually has a chart that has them listed. Currency. Yep. I'm trying to remember. We pulled it up a few weeks ago on here. And it just showed them all, and it had it listed
Yeah,
out.
go back where you were. Go back where you were on my FX book and just put a 1 in the trade value and hit calculate, and they'll all pull in. Yeah, right where you were before.
Yeah, there was one that when you pull it up, it says it. I hit the wrong thing. You can tell it's getting late. I'm hungry. That's another thing. Gosh.
No, you're right there. Hit pip. Yeah, that one. And then just put a 1 in the trade size. Yeah, and then hit calculate, and it'll pull them all in.
Okay. Yeah, there's another one that's prettier than this. I can't remember. You remember, Grant? Grant, are you asleep? Because I know you like to fall asleep on me. There's another one. I'll try and find it. But we had it on ForexNChill a week or two ago. Let me finish marking up this big
big old pip.
Well, it does pay 9 cents. See, all the NZD only pays 6.
Wow.
All the USD pairs pay the standard dollar. Like USD Swiss franc. There was one that pays $12. Which one was it? It might have been EG, maybe.
Yeah.
Euro Great British Pound pays better, but I hate it. I hate that pair. There's 2 pairs that I hate. USD Swiss franc and Euro Great British Pound.
EG pays lovely. Why don't you like it? Because
I don't like it moves. Ooh, this moved 172 pips the whole week, girl. We're in the money now. But you know what? It's a swing trader. The swing trader can trade it.
Yeah, someone called it last night. I was like, I don't know.
Telling your grandma can outrun Swiss Jackie. Grandma
they called it for a sale, and I didn't see a sale there either. Just
it might be a scalp on a lower time frame, but yeah, it's not ready yet. It's still got a whole 1 pip to go. I had to. But yeah, it's just made an impulse correction. So it could push back up into here. But again, does anything stick out to you guys about what happened up here? Look at that. Reversal pattern.
Reversal
pattern. And it happened right above these highs.
Bullish engulfing to the downside.
Yep. There you go. That too. So that created that first impulse. Correction. And then continuation. So even though you see, Remember, I told you an impulse is important, but what happened after that impulse? You got a huge buy candle, but you didn't get a corrective pattern. You got a reversal pattern.
Reversal pattern. Okay.
Yep. Here's your impulse. That's a corrective pattern. And then it sold off. Yeah, it's not ready to sell yet.
Okay.
You can throw a standard on that. It ain't going nowhere. Yeah, I remember people will be like, Lindor, will you cover Swiss franc? Yeah, he's like, what? Cover what?
I went and looked at the currency strengths, and both of them are like really, really weak anyway. So they just, you know, sitting there.
Look at the yen, how it dropped. This is why you saw all those yen pairs shoot up.
Mm.
Look at that now. On the 4 hour. Now you got an expanding. And then that's brought it right back down here. Look at that. That's what I was saying. I hadn't traded that in a while. So obviously the last time I traded it, it was right here. And that's why I said sometimes patterns change and turn into an expanding. So let's see if it's going to reject here and go back up. If it does, we'll get that correction on all those JPY pairs. Swiss franc doesn't ever do anything because they never go to war. They don't have a president that tweets. Nothing ever happens with this currency. It's like one of the safest currencies. If people want to, like, if the dollar's declining, a multi-million or billion-dollar corporation might put a few $1 million in Swiss franc and hold it until the dollar comes back around. Then go to the currency exchange or the dealer and buy it back. That's how they move their money. That's why whenever you see something crazy happen, you'll see gold shoot up because the people, oh my God, the dollar's going to fail and I got $1 million. I want to move it over because I don't want to lose my interest. Yep. So you'll see gold prices shoot up. This thing is just nasty. All right, anybody else?
Oh, can you go to US 30? No, not you, Thomas. Not you, Thomas.
Hey, Gigi, does gold and silver move together?
They move
not you, Thomas.
alike, but not at exactly the same time.
If you have,
go ahead.
If you have time to do one more, I would really like to see EA. But I know you said that you want to do US 30, but I just really wanted to see EA.
Now, when I trade US 30, I usually don't use a lot of support and resistance, but with this one, I will. Just remember, monthly, weekly, and daily is supply and demand. Anything under that is support and resistance. And I do, if I trade this, I'm going to trade it on a lower time frame. All right, I got that.
Can you go to 30 minutes on October 9th?
30 minutes, go to.
Oh, wait a minute, Thomas.
All right, right here.
Yeah, you see that big, what is it, October 9th, 22.00.
Right here. You came to your zone.
Yeah, the big red, the big bear candle.
This one right here.
Yeah, if you zoom in, was that like a bear flag? Because I traded that a little bit, and it went to like 26,245, and I got out at 26,232.
Like right here. Impulse, correction, continuation.
No, the continuation, and then I think it formed a bear flag.
Talking about here?
Yeah.
At the top of the candle is a bearish flag.
Yeah, this right here, impulse, correction. And then you got the continuation. But this was it reversed, but all it did was go to your previous zone. All right. And the reason it reversed is because of this area right here. That's why those previous zones are extremely important. All right. The reason this happened, all of this happened because you're here. So this is your aggressive move. You got impulse, correction, continuation, correction, continuation. All right. You got your equal highs and equal lows. It swept. Impulse, correction, continuation. And went sideways. Broke out to the downside. And then went back up just this exact same area. So it's trading in a range right now. Whenever something is ranging, you go with the overall trend. So you're going to look for your shorts right now. And you got the engulfing right here. So you would wait for a correction and then a continuation. So with this, I always look at strong areas of support and resistance. You can use the horizontal raise.
Yeah, I think that's what saved me. The support.
Yeah.
The floors.
So it's in a zone right now. It's ranging in a zone. Like look here, how many times it traded in that zone. It finally broke out, and now it came back to this right here.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, anybody else?
Euro AUD.
All right, I'm gonna do this one, then I'm gonna jump off and play. Oh, I keep tapping it with my grandkids. We play crazy games on. I even play hide and seek on FaceTime. Don't ask me how, but I'll take the phone and I'll take the phone and go running around and make it look I'm hiding, and then jump out in front of the phone. Swing low.
I gotta see that. I gotta see that hide and seek. FaceTime. That is awesome.
Oh, for a 2-year and 3-year-old, they love it. All right, swing low. On the daily, came back down to here. And we ended up here. So now if you wanted to put a trend line here, you could. See if that's going to hold. Because on your weekly, it's been going into an uptrend, but you just had an impulse correction. So you got a weekly zone here and here. And the daily, it just came like 50%. Let's see. Yep, came 50%.
That right shoulder didn't surpass the left one, Gigi.
Yep. So it looks like it's going to sell off. It could push up one more time. See if this holds. You see, even though you have an impulse and correction, this isn't really a corrective move. This is a reversal move.
Mm-hmm.
You see it?
Bingo. Yep, that's it. That's it.
Yep.
Yep.
Anytime you get this sideways movement in a pattern like that, and it's at an area of support and resistance, Oh, that's right here. Now, let's see where we are on this. Swing low. That's at your 61.8. There's some wrinkles on it.
Yeah, retest that 50 and
Yep.
that's a good buy. Yeah.
You had an impulse, correction, continuation, correction.
Damn.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Everybody good?
Thank you.
Gigi.
Yes.
Yes. Everybody good?
Thank you.
Everybody like and subscribe on YouTube. We'll load up the video tomorrow. Next week, I'm going to do something a little different. There's a guy that sells a Renko's indicator that can be put on MT4. And like he had a 1,200 pip week this week using his Renko system. I do have it. I have used it and made money with it. I haven't used it lately. And I said I'm going to, like, Renko's is my favorite. And I like to use it for swing trading. That way I don't have to babysit my trades. I know where the market's going. Look at that channel. Goodness. So I'll have him on next week to cover a Renko system. If y'all want to come back for that, I'll drop the link on my Facebook page right here. For next week's ForexNChill, I'll drop it like Thursday. And any questions, always reach out. I respond as much as I can. Thank you. And y'all have a blessed evening.
Thank you,
Thanks, Gigi. You too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right, good night.
Don't y'all give up on Forex, y'all. Okay? Just love.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy. I try to be grandma of the year. All right, guys, have a blessed night.